God damn, probably should have not pressed that button when I was stretching. Hey, it's me, Jompo. Hey, everybody. It's me. All right, fellas, so I have to admit something. It's something that'll be dead obvious if you are in in the stream that I had for New Year's. It's that I'm using the exact same background footage. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I didn't have time to put anything together, so we're just seeing the same thing. Pretty creative, am I right? Now, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you about something else. So normally I don't do chit-chat streams, and the main reason is because I don't know what the hell I'm, gonna talk about. I always see a bunch of people doing this, like, all over the internet. It's like the most popular thing in the whole wide world. There are a lot of people who will watch a person talk and do a, like, chat stream, and then they're like, okay, thanks chat, time to start playing the video game I told you about. And then everyone leaves, and it's like, damn, bitch. Damn, people really like listening to people talk. What the hell do they talk about? I don't know. I only watch one person that does chit-chat streams, but I only watch their clips. You have nothing to talk about with us. If you do, you'll level up our parasocial relationships. I saw somebody mentioning Monster Hunter, the Queen of Hatred. Very cool name. So Monster Hunter is cool, I will say that. But I ended up playing through the beginning of it. I had one stream of it, and then I got a bit bored. Not in terms of like playing the game in total, but bored as in I didn't think that my own streams were all that interesting while I was playing it. But I did keep playing it, and I got to like level 40 or something, and then I stopped playing it there. So tragic. I can always pick it back up, but I think I played it on my other account. How unfortunate. Did you know? I have beautiful information for everybody. So if you're ever wondering why I'm oh so late to everything I ever show up in, and why I struggle to put things together sometimes, did you guys know I have a debilitating, dare I say, downright debilitating, sleep issue? I forget what the word is. There's like a word for this. I got a half-assed diagnosis. I got a cool diagnosis that my sleep is fucked up. It's not insomnia, it's the opposite. It's that I have hypersomnia. So you know how like narcoleptics, you know how they have like hypersomnia? Essentially they fall asleep all the time. It's like that meme of like, oh, he was narcoleptic, he was eating food at the dinner table and he fell asleep and he fell over and fucking slept right on the guy. I need to stop watching my own gameplay. It's actually confusing me. Oh, he fell asleep like a dipshit. Somnoplubia. That's right, Morbylol. That is really close to the word that they used. But, basically, no. So it's better than bad. Wait, are you talking to me? You're so confusing, Swishy. I always don't know if you're talking to Clover or me. But yeah, essentially, my body yearns for sleep and it needs too much sleep. It's very weird. But it's not necessarily just, gee whiz, you need to sleep. It's, recently, I'll give you a little story, right? Recently, I was on schedule. I go to sleep at about 11 p.m. and I wake up at 9 a.m. 10 hours of sleep is my normal amount of sleep that I get, when I try to lay down and sleep, right? And I do that because I know that any less is gonna fuck me up and make me tired. But over the course of the week, I slept at that same time and woke up at that same time every single day for around 5 to 7 days. And I was so exhausted and underslept from only getting 10 hours of sleep that on one day I fell asleep, didn't set my alarm, and I slept for 16 hours. I'm so fucked up. So I was like, you know, maybe I should see a doctor about this, because I don't think that's normal. You know, I'm supposed to sleep less as I'm getting older, not more. So I went and I talked to them, and I was like, hey, dude, here's my quick story. And they're like, all right, let's do a quick test for narcolepsy. Didn't pass that test, which means that I don't have narcolepsy. It is not normal, Archviles. But it was pretty unfortunate, and because of that, I realized, okay, so I gotta go meet with a specialist, and they're gonna like diagnose me. I'm gonna wear like a thing while I sleep. They're gonna monitor my sleep schedule and all that kind of stuff. And hopefully I can be on like some path where I don't have to sleep my goddamn life away every single time. Tragic. Zion, I saw you ask, after you're done with the Me-Side highlights, what game will you make videos on? Actually, the next highlights you're going to be getting is not going to be Me-Side highlights. I'm actually done making them, not done releasing them, but I'm done making them. I actually like to stagger different games each time, so you're not getting like back-to-back-to-back stuff. It's just that I didn't have anything at the time to hand off to people. So the next one's actually going to be a game for you, the viewer. It's gonna be so cool. It's gonna make you all smile because it's made for you. It's your target demographic. Triamphetamines? Boy, I wish they would give me some. Do you have crazy dreams? I do. I actually, it's not like the wackiest things, right? But I do have a lot of dreams, and it's very often that I have dreams. A lot of the time, I'll get pissed off and beat the shit out of people in my dreams. I can throw a punch. I can also run around in my dreams. A lot of people can't run in their dreams for some reason, I've learned. And in fact, I couldn't run in my dreams either. I would always try to sprint, and I'd like fall over, and I wouldn't know how to move, and it would feel real uncomfortable. But somehow I learned. So like the dream version of me can learn things and then be better at it in the next dream, which is really bizarre. Like I learned how to walk and run. And then I learned how to fight in my dreams. Because throwing punches always felt like I was throwing them underwater. But I learned that grappling works really well, so I can grab people and I can throw them around. And then I slowly learned how to punch. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on, dude? Do I have like some dream version goblin inside my brainstem that keeps trying to throw punches with people? Maybe. Maybe. That's science, baby. Do you have sleep paralysis often? Never. What's a narcolepsy? It's when you fall asleep too much. Learn how to double jump? That's something I haven't learned. I'm only a little bit able to control my dreams to some extent, but I can't do fancy schmancy stuff like double jumping. Why are you beating people up? Because they're assholes, bro. There are so many times in my dreams where I'm going around doing a cool thing, and then it just like hard stops to some guy being a total dick for no reason. I'm like, all right, I'm kicking his ass so I can move on to the next step because I don't want to deal with this goddamn stupid dream anymore. So I beat the shit out of him and I move on and do something cool instead. Just like real life. Grace be upon you, 10 hours for me to wake up without an alarm. Yeah, for me it's around, it averages between 10 to 12 hours if I don't have an alarm set. It's pretty bad. Family Guy chicken fight ass dreams. Oh, Morby, you always know what to say to me. I saw someone ask about the Feed Jompo video. So my life's not under control enough for me to be editing things very well right now, but I do have a video that I am working on in concept, and I'm trying to gather the footage for it at least. And I think, and once I start doing that, I do not think the video is going to take very long to put together. I'm not going to commit to a month or 2 months or anything like that, but I want to aim for 2 months at at the soonest, please. Matt Mill, womp womp. Did you murder anyone in your dreams yet? I'm not very good at killing people. I still can't shoot guns in my dreams. That's crazy. Every time I pull the trigger, nothing happens. I've killed people though. I think I've punched them to death or something. I was able to shoot a Kamehameha once. That was pretty rad. Oh yeah, by the way. Moving off of the dream stuff, cool channel stuff. Did you know? Did you know? I have a couple of small videos that aren't gameplay specific that I think might be interesting to release. One of them is just a goofy video that I put together for actually what was going to be a Feed Jompo video, but I ended up not making it because I didn't like it. I got like halfway done. It was all right, but it didn't seem like it was very smart. I just couldn't get the damn video to work. So I'll be putting it out probably just as like a goofy little thing. So it'll be like a, what, 1.5, 2 minute clip that's from there, but I'm going to just make sure it's contextualized so it can be a stupid little shit post. My theory is that you unlocked inner chi cultivation. I'm not Chinese. I don't know if I can learn that kind of thing. And yeah, I know, I'm getting washed. Don't worry. In this cool Tekken clip and stuff, this is from a million years ago. I don't actually remember. This is like over a year ago, I think, that I recorded this footage. This was back when it was fun to play Tekken. Did you hear? They said did you hear about the cool defensive patch that they decided to put out? And then they upgraded all of the characters' offenses completely, and it completely fucked everything, and everyone's mad. That kind of shit is why I'm not a huge fan of Tekken no more. Although, yeah, I'm terrible against Law. I don't know why. Law is such a bastard. I cannot figure out his moveset. Who the fuck is talking? Oh, it's Fan. When will he release the sponge merch? Never! Never! And the sign bricks? Now that one might happen. Morby silence. Don't you play that one shitty ass game, Guilty Gear Strive? Embarrassing. And you're talking shit about fucking Tekken, bro. Oh, I'm sorry. I dug deep. I dug deep on that insult. I wasn't jesting. I actually did play Strive a good amount, but I just thought it was kind of dull. After a while, I thought everyone would just hit me for 1,000 damage, and I went, you know what? Kind of, you know, whatever. So okay, Morby, you're in the same spot as like me. I think I played right around when Dizzy showed up, and then I went, this is fucking boring. And then I also played Tekken, and then I think the first or second DLC character came out, I went, this is fucking boring. Dragon Ball FighterZ is cool. I'm also not very good at tag fighter type stuff. Mostly because I like doing stupid shit that's not gonna work, but I do think it's funny. I enjoy playing DBFZ. I think that game's a lot of fun. I do think it's also annoying, because certain characters are so much damn better. Can Jumpo's brain run Doom? I've never played the original Doom, but yeah, I can audio visualize literally anything in my brain. So like, I can rotate an apple, I can rotate a cow, I can even hear it moo. So yeah, I can kind of play Doom in my brain. Also, sorry I keep pausing so I can drink a bunch of water. You know, I know, hydration, am I right, fellas? Next stream, speedrun Doom. I've never even run it! What are your favorite YouTubers? Finally, a question. My favorite YouTubers, I have a couple of them. Emp Lemon is one of my favorites. I've watched him for a good long time. I think he does really good videos. He has like a side channel where he complains about things. I think it's called The Downward Diary, which I'm not as big of a fan of, but it's nice to listen to him yap about things. But I do think that the video essays that he puts together are very well thought out. I think he tries to be very poignant, but I think for him it actually works. Another one is Simple Flips. If you guys like Mario stuff, Simple Flips is a lot of fun. I watch Simple Flips all the goddamn time. He's definitely one of my favorites, and I definitely watch him anytime he puts something out. There are others, but I'm a dumbass, so I always forget who I'm subscribed to and who I watch. I know Oni Plays is a big deal to me. I watch them all the time as well. I think they're really funny. And I gotta say, that kind of Newgrounds humor stuff, I've been watching those guys since, like, well, forever. I think I started going on Newgrounds in like 2007, 2008, something like that. And so because of like that, you know, I've been watching those people forever. I think Newgrounds probably had the biggest impact on my sense of humor in general. Matt Mill heading out, no problem. Thanks for stopping by. All right, you guys hear that window sound? Very cool, right? Who the fuck was that guy? Matt Mill? Where did my window go? I have an OBS window, I have my other window. Where's my YouTube window? Where did I put it? Over here? I found it. Beautiful. Gonna put that in the corner. Gonna move this over here. Oh, fancy. Newgrounds humor is funny, but my sense of humor is absolutely busted. Yeah, no, I understand. You know, when I was at the doctor's office, I was getting my physical done, and they did a reading on, like, you know that pressure test they do where they take the little inflatable thingamajig and then they put it on your arm and it inflates and it like feels out your blood pressure or whatever? The nurse was like going over it. I think she's a nurse. I don't know what the actual word is. But she was helping out. She was giving me like the pumpy squeezy thing. And then she went, looks like you got a 140. And I went, is that good? And she went, no. And I went, hell yeah. And she looked at me like I was a freak. She stood there silently looking at me like I said something terrible, like I stepped on her cat. And she went, why do you say that? And I was like, I was being ironic, dude. It was a joke. Come on. Come on. Why does everyone not understand this? That happens fairly often though. I think some of it's because when I do make jokes, especially in public, when I'm talking to people, and I know that they can see me, I usually assume, hey, you can just look at me like smiling when I say something and you'll know I'm joking, right? And so because of that, I just say something so bluntly as if I completely believe it, everyone believes me too. Yeah, don't worry, tea and cakes, 140 was actually wrong. The thing they used on my arm was too small, so it was over pumping my arm. They had to size up because I'm just so fucking swole, bro. Yeah, I was kind of flexing my bicep, and yeah, I could kind of curl 1,000,000 pounds, so. Real, how the fuck are you alive? They squeezed my boy like a hog. You know I shit on AI and stuff, but back before I started shitting on AI and I realized that some of the stuff they were doing was not so cool, I made some AI songs. I do, and I made a song called Crank Dat Hog, and it's very nice. It does refer to women as bitches, and oh golly, and I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But it's like a really shitty rap that I put together called Crank Dat Hog, and I wrote the lyrics to it, put it into I think Suno AI, I think that's what it's called. And so it was like, it put the whole song together for me, but I wrote this beautiful song. But I need to double check it because let's just say that sometimes the lyrics that I put into songs are not not very kosher, and so I don't know. Maybe I'll post that later. Maybe I'll post the beautiful Crank Dat Hog song on my channel, and then you guys can listen to the Crank Dat Hog song. I just need to double check. Sometimes I may have said something bad in one of them. There's one that I think's really funny, and I can't put it because it was a little too raunchy for the YouTube. You feel me? But yeah, maybe I can do that too. The only thing AI has generated that I've liked was a DALL-E mini image of Walter White eating a comically large sandwich at Denny's. I really liked when everything was brand new. And like the stuff that people were making was not very real. And everything was kind of like a terrifying nightmare. I think that's when AI was like fun. Because looking at all that horrifying nightmare shit is kind of just neat. I remember seeing one about like two Walter Whites that like they were supposed to kiss each other, but they didn't get the memo. Like it didn't figure it out. So it was two Walter Whites looking at each other, and then they just lean forward towards each other, and they both open the mouth. They open their mouths as big as possible and scream and slam their faces into each other, and then just vibrate against each other. And it was terrifying. It's like horrifying to see. Like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening? That's some nightmare shit. But it also made me laugh a lot. It was a really fucking stupid looking. Ah, beautiful. Real, you're just neurons in a box. How many languages can you speak, Jumpo? I can speak 3 languages: English, Pig Latin, and body. Do you think that line ever worked and everyone was like, ooh, you're so clever? To me, that's always been a shit line. Nah, just an English boy. If I ever learn another language, you'll figure it out because in the Discord, I'll allow it. But I'm probably not. I think if I was gonna learn any language, I know I'm trying to memorize just enough Japanese to be able to get around when I go to Japan later this year. But I think if I was gonna learn a different language, IRL, and really put effort into it, I would probably try to learn Spanish. Because I think them Latinos down south are really goddamn funny. And if I was going to do anything for like streams, I feel like it would be funny to be able to speak Spanish because they're like streamers that I like, but they're not translated, but they are funny. I know they're funny because my friend translated them for me. I'm like, damn, they're so clever. They're so funny. I like this shit, but I can't speak it, so I literally can't talk to anyone down there. Unless they speak English. But you know how it goes, right? Rule 2 Jompo? What? Me? Breaking a... what? I would never break a rule. Ever. No hablo inglés. I understand. You just have to learn the curses in every language and you're good? That's a good start. I took a German class once. Let me tell you, German's not very intuitive. The hardest part about German that I found wasn't just memorizing words, and the sentence structure actually wasn't awful. It's that there are certain times when you like just string a bunch of words together to explain something, and I think adding adjectives was a bit confusing. But the hardest part was remembering what fucking gender everything was, because they just randomly did it. I don't know what the hell they were doing. It's just like they'll see a cup and go, that one's gonna be feminine. Oh, but a cup holder, that's masculine. Keyboards, feminine. Oh, the walls in your room, feminine. It's just one of those, and there's no logic to it, right? In Spanish, it's like, oh, if it ends with an O or an A, there you go. You know if it's feminine or masculine. But it just doesn't make any fucking sense in German. They just fucking assign stuff. There was no logic. It's like, you'd look at a chair and they'd be like, masculine. I'm like, bro, please, I don't want to have to memorize this with everything. It's so tough. It's tragic. There's logic, it's mostly intuitive. Any English bearer just knows this. I mean German. That makes more sense now that you've said German. Yeah, it's one of those things that I think people just pick up on. Like, there probably is a trend, but as far as learning it, since I don't know shit about the culture or anything, to me it's just a bunch of nonsense. I can't figure it out. Do you like the MonsterVerse or MCU more? Well, I don't even know what oh wait, the MonsterVerse is like Godzilla and stuff, right? I think the King Kong movie where they went to Skull Island, the recent one, where like the dude landed fighting a Japanese guy in World War II, and then he found Big Monkey, and then a bunch of other people showed up and they were like, we need to get to the island for the military. And the military guys were like, we can't lose Vietnam. We would never lose Vietnam. We gotta continue the war. We can't lose no more. Not in Skull Island against the Big Monkey. I thought that movie sucked shit. It was awful. I thought it was really bad. And I remember a bunch of people are like, you're just not, what's the word? There's a word. It's like, it combines the word literate with something. I don't know. You're not like movie literate. You don't understand the deeper themes. No, I understood the fucking themes. People from Vietnam didn't want to accept the fact that they lost, so they were trying to assert that in Skull Island. Also, a lot of deaths were pointless. Oh no, oh wow, oh I figured it out. Oh, it looks like I'm not so illiterate after all, and the movie still sucked. Whoa, crazy, whoa. Damn, Jumbo, can you beat me up like that? If you ever find me and dox me and try to like come to my house, I'll do more than that. I'll fucking kill ya. Media literacy, that's what it was. It got called media illiterate for looking at a comic at a deeper level than the plain text. Yeah, the media literacy is what I was gonna say. Media literacy people. People who tend to use that as some kind of insult, like, you don't have media literacy like I do. You don't get it. You don't have media literacy. Generally speaking, I think they have some of the worst takes. I do think that they don't know what they're talking about the majority of the time. Damn media libs. They're, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with them. I've had plenty of people say that about stuff like Chainsaw Man. They're like, Chainsaw Man, it has such deep meaning and characters, and people don't like it because they just don't get it. And then I remember I explained it like, yeah, so the main character, he is aimless, so the whole point of the journey is to basically, you know, he has no motivation because he's trying to find his motivation. It's, he has like a sort of depression where he doesn't feel anything because he's been like used and abused like a tool, and it's about the cycle of sort of abuse and that people are constantly trying to manipulate him in different ways and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, yeah, that's what it's about. And I said, well, I still don't like it because I think the action sucks and it's not interesting and the characters are boring. And they're like, oh, well, you just don't get it. Now, I think I got it. I'm not a Chainsaw fan, man. It's just, I said fan man? Chainsaw Man fan. Chainsaw, I'm not a fan of the Chainsaw Man is what I'm trying to say. Unknown. My thoughts on Cthulhu stories and stuff, I've actually never read them. I've never gotten into that kind of stuff. I don't read books, so I don't know anything about it. Closest thing I've ever gotten to that was Call of Cthulhu, the board game, and I only got halfway through that before we stopped playing. Vicious, dare I say. Golly, I hope you guys like the next video I put out in this stupid channel I have. An audiobook. Right, I always forget audiobooks exist. The only audiobook I've listened to was I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. And I think it was a fairly interesting listen. I didn't finish it because I got tired of it. I think it was written like somebody who who's like a creative writing major in college. I think that was the toughest thing for me to get through it. But it was very interesting to hear about somebody's like past ventures when it came to like show business and stuff. And all that behind the scenes, you know, like everything seems so happy giddy, oh boy, everyone's smiling in Hollywood, until you dig deeper into Hollywood and everyone's fucked up. Pretty bad. Someone asked me another question. What was it? Have you read or watched Invincible? I haven't read it, but I have watched it. I'm caught up. I think Invincible's pretty cool. I do like it in general. I think about half of the first season is very dull and almost pointless. I feel like the second season probably needed to be 3 or 4 episodes instead of 8 episodes. And I think the third season found like a good groove where it was moving at a good pace pretty much the whole time. I'd overall say it's pretty good. A lot of people, oh fuck, am I lagging? No, I'm fine. A lot of people say that the animation in Invincible is great, or at least they did during season 1, and that always confused me. And then like season 2, I think people are like, oh, the animation's falling off so hard. And I was like, no, it's basically the same. it was basically the same the entire time. It was always kind of mediocre. The people that animate for Invincible are very good at showing people get shredded into bits. They animate that shit at 60 FPS beautifully when someone's organs are getting pulled out. And then the instant someone has to walk around or have a conversation or fly, they go down to like sliding PNGs. I think it's pretty funny, but I don't think it ultimately like ruins everything. I think for the most part, it's all right. Hello, Bittersweet. How do you do? Someone asked me about Star Wars. What's my opinion on Star Wars? I really liked the original trilogy. Thought they were great. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 are fun in a way. which is if you're really big into lore and world building, I think that they work pretty well. If you're really into good storytelling and eventful movies, then it's a very mixed bag that generally leans to not being that interesting. But as a kid, I was enamored by episodes 1, 2, and 3. You know, not the original stuff, but the sequel trilogy. I remember thinking like, damn, this is so cool. The Gungans look really fucking rad, even though Jar Jar is just a goofy guy. And I liked Jar Jar because he was funny, so it worked, you know, it appealed to kids like me. I thought all the stuff was neat. I thought it was cool. I played a bunch of video games about it. I had like action figures. I had a fucking chess set with Star Wars stuff. I thought it was really neat. I think in hindsight, we can say that the movies were bad, but they had a good impact, I think. I think a lot of people really did end up liking it. And there was stuff about it that was still respectable enough. You know, like the CG in it was great for the time. The acting was dog shit, but that was more because of direction than anything. I think all of them can be fine actors. Lego Star Wars was great too, Morby. That's a great point. But yeah, the sequel, not the sequel trilogy, but wait, is it the sequel trilogy? What's the fucking Disney ones? The Disney ones were ass. I disliked I remember going to the first one, the Force Awakens, and I walked out of it and everyone was like, wow, that was great. That was so cool. And I said, guys, I'm pretty sure we just rewatched A New Hope with different characters. And everyone was like, no, you're a dumbass. And I remember seeing online, everyone was calling me a dumbass. And then like a few months later, everyone, wait a second, it was a lot like A New Hope. And I'm like, yeah, idiot. Don't be nostalgia blind. It's not that it was the worst thing ever, it's just that it was unoriginal. Then the next movie sucked, and then the next movie was somehow even worse. Tragedy. How do you feel about Twin Peaks? Never saw it. Do you listen to Effects? Don't know what that is. Now those are the questions I like to answer. Nice and clean and fast. Fortnite stream when? I don't know if I'll ever play Fortnite. But I've thought about it sometimes. I don't know, Fortnite doesn't seem like something I'd really be interested in sticking with if I ever played it. I think I'd probably play it a bit and then be done with it. Archviles, do you like men? Why, you interested? Get the fuck away from me. Will you play Fortnite if they add Chen as a playable character? Not even then. The AI Darth Vader. I heard about that. People are suing each other over that, you know. I played Fortnite, I think twice when it first came out. Unknown. Asking me the real questions. What kind of women do you like? All right, this is a very uncommon thing from what I could tell. I remember watching a guy who was like a pickup artist, and he was like, here's how you get women. And I was like, let's listen and see if he says anything smart at all. And he didn't. But I remember one of the things he said, I think it was a pickup artist talking to women to tell them how to like be more appealing to men, because they were like, I can't find a boyfriend, something like that. I don't know. This was like years ago. Andrew Tate wasn't even a sparkle in his father's eye at the time. So it wasn't any of that kind of stuff. It was more of a, I guess, standard scumbag instead of a really bad scumbag. But it was, what happened? Yeah, so the guy said, you say you're funny and you act like saying you're funny is like a big plus, but no men care if you're funny. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I think one of the main things that I like is that if a woman can make me laugh, that's like immediately I'm way more attracted to them. It's way better. It's like 1,000 times better. I think a sense of humor is a really attractive thing. I think being in good shape is also important, but that's because I'm a gym autist, so you know, I'm not gonna not do that stuff. If she exercises, that means I can exercise with her. And that also means, personally, I really like the look. I think being fit looks damn good. But in terms of personality and stuff, I would say, I don't really have a type, I would say, outside of that. I think it's just so long as we get along. I've never really thought too hard about any of the other stuff. You know, it's fun to say, if I'm talking about like anime girls, I'll say, you know, tomboys, wonderful. The otaku girls, wonderful. The kind of like shy girls, ooh, I got a thing for tsunderes. Woo, goddamn. But at the same time, that's just anime shit, you know? In real life, none of that really matters. You ask about One Shot? I played One Shot, that's why I don't make anything about it. I already played it. You hate tsunderes? Is that because you think, ugh, they're just a bitch, ugh. Hello, fan, how you doing? Ugh, the tsundere, she said baka and ran away instead of saying I love you to the person they love. Ow, I just can't handle it. Yeah, whatever. You see, I like tsunderes because, I like it when they fight back. There's no fun in someone that's just all into you already, right? Then you can't play the game. It's fun. I like it when you get to talk to somebody and they kind of have something that they're frustrated about. Like they're tsundere or whatever. They're like making fun of you or something and you're like, I can break through that exterior. That's the fun part. I will make you love me. That's one way of putting it. I don't know, it's like that top-bottom argument, right? Like, the perfect people together are tops and bottoms, boo-hoo. Tops and tops can't get together because who's gonna take the lead? And two bottoms, neither of them can take the lead. Incorrect. If you want to hear the perfect relationship dynamic, it is two tops fighting to be the top. That is the ideal relationship. I assert myself, she asserts myself. That is the fun game to play. What about bottom and ultra bottom? The fuck's an ultra bottom? Someone asked me favorite tsunderes. I don't actually have an answer to that. Oh yeah, this guy rage quit. That's pretty funny, isn't it? Sweet, dude. I was kicking his ass so hard he fucking unplugged. What a stupid bitch. What an idiot. A man and a woman together, like some messed up cross between Yaoi and Yuri. What a fujoshi you are. Yeah, it's fun. Sometimes people ask me questions and I like read it and I'm like, that's a good question, but I'm talking about something else. By the way, I have this wonderful, cool thing. My wonderful, beautiful mouse goes to sleep anytime I'm letting it just kind of sit. And it'll just shut the hell up. It'll just stop, right? And it'll be like, okay, I'm resting. And it's like every other mouse in the entire world does that. And so then I move my mouse and it wakes up, but then it takes like a full second to re-register that my DPI is something. And that's why every once in a while when I'm talking, you'll hear the window sound effect because it's reconnecting my mouse and waking it up and then setting my DPI. It's so weird. I can't figure it out. This is supposed to be a cool mouse with a cool fucking software, and it kinda sucks. You can disable a notification. I reject that. Usually I just have my system settings muted, but I don't want to click 2 times and turn that off, so you know, that's a lot of work. I've been into schizotubers recently. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Scary. Old office mouse. Huh, you can't game with an office mouse. Huh, works just fine? Yeah, right. Huh. Damn, I've only been talking for 40 minutes? That's crazy. Software engineer words, it's so true. When you speak to a real life user about like, why are you not using this thing? Why we set this up for you like a year ago, and we paid thousands of dollars to get it made. Why aren't you using this part of the application? Yeah, well, it's like really annoying. What do you mean? Well, like, you know, you gotta click in there and then you have to type the first like 3 letters of it. And then you gotta like scroll to find it, or you have to like type in enough, and it's like, yeah, you can autofill, but can't it just like figure it out from the other info I type in and autofill it completely? I'm like, well, what info do you put in there? What's the required stuff you put in there? Oh, we put in the name and the date. Well, that doesn't, we can't autofill anything based off of that. How will it know? They say, well, can't it just make it autofill? How will it know? How the fuck will it know what to autofill? There's no fucking info in it. How the fuck's it gonna autofill any? It's just gonna guess. What info? You gotta give me something. Like, I guess you're right. And I'm like, what do you mean I guess you're right? You didn't figure that out? Where do you think information comes from? People are crazy. I blanked out talking about autofilling. I was talking about, I'm gonna autofill you. Oh, unknown. You know just what to say to me. I was talking about programming. Computer can autofill from knowing cause computer. So true. I don't know about the brain chip stuff. Elon Musk implant my brain into a monkey, and then he became the real Jumpo. Oh, how the world has changed. I like the chit chat stream. This is kind of relaxing in a way. It's like I get to yap about things that I can't normally yap about when I'm playing a game because my attention is split and I'm a dumbass. And I'll have you know, I'm not dual multitasking. My attention's completely on the stream. No video games. Although I do sometimes look over at Kazuya beating the shit out of me. I think Uncle Quiche gets a sick comeback and fucks me up. That sounds real. What, Archviles, you say something? Not true. I like the music you chose for the stream. Thank you. The 3 songs that loop through this are from Dova Syndrome. They're a royalty-free website where you can get a bunch of music for free from Japan, because it's Japanese. And they even have an English translation on it, like built in, so you can just click the English button and then go through it from there. So that's pretty cool. And then I put a filter over it to make it a nice little quiet thing instead of just the raw music. Who would win 100 men or 1 gorilla? I've addressed this before. There's an easy thing. You could even you could defeat a gorilla with 10 men if you had a plan. That's what I'm trying to say. Gorillas are very strong, but if you're willing to have some people act as sacrifices, if you can have somebody bonsai and fucking kill themselves against the gorilla, I think it's actually pretty simple. The instant you get close, like you get like 4 people close in front of it, and if it opens its mouth, if the gorilla opens its mouth, again, just jam your fist down its throat and it'll suffocate. Even if it bites your arm off, if everyone just pushes in, make sure it doesn't rip you out of his throat, you're gonna suffocate that motherfucker. And even if it does, right? If you put your, like, if you turn your hand into like a little, like put your fingers together and it can go in easily, and then you make a fist to, and like make the width bigger, then when it pulls it out, if it forced you out, it's gonna tear the shit out of its throat. You can easily do that kind of thing, right? That kind of thing might not work on like an elephant because their throats are gigantic, but against a gorilla, you could tear that shit apart. They'd probably die, they'd lose an arm, but if they were willing to die for it, right? You could do it. And with 100 men, fuck, you could just swarm the bitch. All you have to do is get close enough to like get 5 people on each arm, And then you can just like kick its head into death. It's so easy. 100 gorillas versus 1 Juan? Depends on the Juan. I think a Don Juan could probably defeat him. I asked you before, but do you drink beer? Because the beers in Japan are very good. I'm not a fan of beer. I like other drinks. I liked mixed drinks. I think those are generally pretty good. I think, what is it? I think margaritas are pretty goddamn delicious. And I like whiskey that isn't just whiskey. So if you combine it with 1 or 2 other things, like I had a maple whiskey that was really good. I had another one that was like a vanilla whiskey that tasted really good. But beer, I just don't like it. I just think the flavor sucks. I haven't found a beer that I thought was like, yeah, this is drinkable. I'd rather sit down and drink whiskey than beer, I think. Margaritas are way too easy to drink. That's like goddamn juice. I can slurp that shit all day, every day. 1 million lions versus the sun would win. 100 gorillas versus Doomslayer? I think Doomslayer would just outright win. Even if he didn't have guns. What about tequila? Well, tequila is normally in margaritas, isn't it? I think that's what's normally in it. It's not vodka, right? I'm pretty sure it's tequila. I'm like 75%, no, I'm 90% sure it's tequila in there. Real, I do not know what absinthe is. What if the lions attacked at night? Well, man, I don't think they could find it. 100 gorillas versus half a Jumbo. I'll say outright, as funny as it would be to try and speculate on how to defeat 100 gorillas, I think they would just grab me by every limb and tear me into shreds. Then I'd be 5 Jumbos. It'd be like tearing apart a bundle of sticks. It's just more sticks. Bombs, huh? Absinthe is basically vodka infused with plants if simplified to the extreme. I don't comprehend any of that shit. I think vodka's okay. I can take like a shot of vodka. You know, I'd prefer to take a shot of vodka than drink a whole beer. I think it's because it lasts less long. You know, sipping on a beer just sucks. I really don't like it. Well, Clover, I will say that gorillas are pretty goddamn strong. I think against a couple of men, like your average men, your average American men, I think it could definitely shred them if it was like in a fever. Like it was feverishly, fervently trying to destroy everything. It was enraged, right? The real question's like 100 men, let's say 100, you know, I think this is a better question, right? 100 men versus a single gorilla is definitely in the men's favor. But 100 men with no weapons versus a hippopotamus. Now I think that would be a lot more interesting. I think a hippopotamus might win that because like how the fuck do you hurt a hippo? I think you would have to go for its eyes. But at the same time, a hippo's so big, so strong. If it got anywhere near you, it would tear you to shreds. Hippos are motherfuckers. I think the hippo would be good. The humans would need a plan to somehow blind it. But then even if they blinded it, I'm not sure if they could kill it necessarily. I think you'd have to get real fucking weird. It would have to be something like you blind it, and then you have to do something where you can get into it and tear it apart from the inside. So like, here's the thing, right? So hyenas, for example, when they're hunting, one of the things that they'll do is they'll go up behind other animals. And what they intentionally do is they will bite off its testicles. So if they see some big animal that they don't stand a chance against, they'll sneak up behind it and try to fucking just bite its balls off. And the reason they do that is because it is a very easy location to snip off that will cause it to bleed out and die. So if it was 100 men against a hippo and they knew that, if it was a man, you could probably tear its balls off and make it bleed out and then just space out the hippo. Although hippos are pretty fast, but you would probably have to sacrifice a lot of guys to get to that point, right? Who's gonna be the ball ripper and who's gonna be the guy who gets eaten? You know what I mean? How do you know this? How do you not know this? I thought that was common knowledge. But if you can do that kind of thing, I think that would work well. I think that's like the main advantage. But if it was a female hippo, it's not like you could just tear its pussy off, you know what I mean? That's not gonna make it bleed out. But you know, then you have to speculate, like maybe you can get up behind it and like fist its asshole, and then just like, when your fist is in there, just use your nails to just fucking shred everything inside and then bleed it out that way. But that's like the only thing I can think of for a hippo, man. I feel like if you don't do that, the hippo's gonna fucking annihilate you. I don't think there's any other way to fucking kill a hippo with your bare hands, right? Same with like an elephant. Shredding intestines of a human's pretty hard. They're very flexible. Now that I wouldn't know about. I know a little more about hippo assholes than human assholes. Is the average male hippo like 4.5 thousand kilograms? They're huge. Look, I'm not saying it would be easy. I'm saying that these are the plans that you would have to come up with, right? Like, I don't know if it would be a winning battle. I'm just saying that if you were going to do it, you'd have to come up with something wacky and weird. If you were going to try and kill a hippo, right? Like, let's say you were 1v1ing, like, let's say there was a guy who was 7 feet tall. He was made of muscle, he was fast, he had great cardio, he was incredibly flexible, and he had a sword, and you had nothing, right? And you were just you. Like, in that situation, in real life, you wouldn't just stand there and let them kill you, right? You would try to come up with something. It might even be stupid. It would be something along the lines of, okay, well, he's gonna underestimate me, so he'll probably come up and just swing horizontally, so maybe I'll duck down and, I don't know, punch him in the balls? That's like the best thing I got in my head. Like, it's not a good plan, but it's a plan, right? And that's what I think a lot of people forget. Coming up with something is better than having nothing. You don't just run in and start going whack, 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 and punching the shit out of like a hippo's stomach. Like, that's never gonna do anything. That thing's just gonna roll over and crush you to death. They forget about stamina. Stamina is important, but I do think a hippo would still win, right? If you didn't have the idea of I am going to like, how would you, like, let's say that a hippopotamus was comatose for an hour and you could do whatever you wanted to it and you were trying to kill it, right? How would you kill it? Like, what are you gonna do, right? Your bare hands, you got nothing to do. It's not like you can choke it. I guess, like, what, cover its nose and make it suffocate, but that's, again, that's coming up with a plan. You wouldn't just walk up to it and start whacking its stomach until it dies, you know what I mean? You need some plan, and I think that's what people forget. It's like, if it's, you know, even if it's weird, you gotta come up with something. I remember having a discussion with somebody about, like, you know, this is really autistic, but I was talking to somebody in the YouTube comments on Feed Jompo about, I was talking to them about Naruto because I have that Naruto video over on Feed Jompo, and I was arguing that because no one watched that video, and you don't have to go watch it if you don't want to, but it was about like why Kingdom, the manga Kingdom, does such a good job with making its wars seem like a war, and how the Naruto war that happens near the end is really fucking dumb because everyone's a dipshit. They don't have any strategy, they just charge in, and it makes me think, oh, that they're incompetent, right? The ninjas don't know what they're doing, they're incompetent, they have no chain of command, and ultimately, they may as well have just let all of them stay home, except for the big heavy hitters like the Kazekage and stuff, right? And so I was saying that makes sense, right? If you don't have a strategy, especially when you can do synchronized jutsu and stuff, what's the fucking point of having all of these guys out there fighting these superhumans instead of just having the other superhumans go fight them? And someone said in the comments, and no hate to them, right? It's totally acceptable, it's fine. They said something to me like, Well, you know, you can't really come up with a strategy, you know, you can come up with a strategy because they're all humans. Like, some of them are very strong, but they're all still humans. If they get stabbed, they still die, right? But in Naruto, they're supposed to be like, it's like normal humans against a tank. Like, what are you gonna do against a tank? And I was like, something. And they're like, well, you can't do anything against the tank. I'm like, it doesn't matter, right? If, let's say 1,000 human beings, right? Normal average human beings with sticks and stones, right? They have no weapons or anything. They're just standing there. And a tank rolls in and wants to kill these 1,000 people. The battlefield, you have some time to prepare beforehand. What are you gonna do? No grenades. You cannot use weapons against it. It is naked men, 1,000 naked men against a tank. What are you gonna do? Right? Well, according to the argument that person made, right, then you would stand there, and if it gets close, you'd run up and punch it. Right? Why the fuck would you do that? Of course you're gonna come up with a strategy, even if it's bad. Maybe you'd like try to dig a trench that maybe you could hide in, or maybe you try to dig a trench that maybe you could try to get it stuck in, even though that would hardly work against a fucking tank. Maybe you try to get someone to climb on top of it to hijack it, like you said, Blue. Rocks down the barrel, maybe. But there are so many things, right, that you could try, and maybe it wouldn't work, maybe you'd lose, but you would fucking try. Otherwise, you're just giving up. Right? And so you have to come up with a plan. So that's the issue. It's that they had no fucking plan. And that's a lot of the time what I see people do. They're like, oh, it's hopeless. So what are you gonna do? What do you mean, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna charge it randomly? No, you come up with something. That's how you win. That's how you handle it. Now that conversation didn't go that far because, you know, I try to not get too worked up in YouTube comments when I'm responding to people. But that was a pleasant little conversation I had with that person. They're all right, you know. I guess I'll have to say this anyway. I may as well. If anyone does go look that up and find that conversation, don't go be a jerk. The conversation ended like 2 years ago, so no reason to bring it up again. Someone else asked me a question. I'm scrolling the fuck up. Who's your favorite voice actor? I see. There is a voice actor that I really like who is Japanese. And I hear their voice in a lot of shit, but I don't actually know who they are. I can look that up real quick. Let's see. I know they're in Hajime no Ippo. Hold on. Hajime no Ippo voice actors. I need a face associated with this. Let's see. Characters and staff. It is the guy who voices Aoki, who in Japanese is Wataru Takagi. Let's see, he voices a lot of people, doesn't he? He voiced the Joker and Ninja Batman. Okay, well, I wasn't expecting that. He was Ganju in Bleach. He was... Let's see, who else? I'm scrolling a lot. Yada yada, blah blah. He was Zeus in, what is that one? The Valkyrie one? Like the tournament against humans and gods? Shumatsu no Valkyrie? Damn, they really repeat the same thing over and over again. He's Chiaki in Isekai Oji-san. I don't know if these are all answers to you, because, you know, you'd have to recognize the names. Oh, he was the male voice of Pipimi in Pop Team Epic. I really like his voice. I feel like it's a real iconic voice to me. That's good. I really, really like his voice. Yeah, Record of Ragnarok? Is that what it's called? They call it Record of Ragnarok in English? I thought it would have Valkyrie in the name for sure. But yeah, I really like his voice. If we were talking American voice actors, I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite American voice actor. Or I guess I should say English speaking, but it still applies. I don't have anyone I'm like, wow, I love listening to their voice. Are there any small channels or creators that you follow on YouTube? There are, but I'm so bad at remembering names of people. Let's see. Let me go on my phone real quick so I can log into my other account. Because it's not like I talk to you guys on, this is my personal account. Who's your favorite game dev? That's actually a good question. I think in general, I don't really care too much about who the game dev is. There's that one horror game dev that I like, and I think they're the one that I look to when I want to see a good, fun horror game that has an interesting story and stuff. And good scares and good sound design and stuff. I don't remember their name, but I made highlights of 2 of their things that they put together. Fuck, I can't believe I keep forgetting all these things. Hold on, I know how to find that one too. But let me do the other one first, because that guy said he had to leave soon. So let's go to my browser, my subscriptions. There's just a list of subscriptions I can see, please. Let's see. Yada yada, blah blah. Turns out YouTube Mobile is kind of a huge bitch. I just want to see the desktop version so I can scroll through. What's your favorite piece of fiction? My favorite piece of fiction is probably One Piece. I fucking love One Piece so goddamn much. YouTube, you fuck, just let me see my subscriptions. Why is it always such a hassle to find shit? Oh my god. Oh my god, it's tragic. The fuck is happening? Just give me my goddamn subscriptions! Fuck! Right. YouTube Mobile sucks ass. Yeah, I swapped to the other version. Let's see. What are some smaller ones? So I don't know what you define as small YouTubers, necessarily. Had an out reel, have a good one. One of them is Magic Mush, one or the other. He's great. I really like his stuff. He does a lot of like internet autism video essays. So he'll look at speedrunning and talk about some of the weird stuff that's happened in speedrunning, or he'll talk about like a video essay he saw that was upset about like a cartoon, or he'll talk about like really weird DeviantArt things or really weird wikis and things like that. Jumbo, how many people came to your first stream? One, I think. It was one person that I knew. I think that's all it was. Yeah, no, I started from 0. Let's see, small channel. Nobey1 is another one I like a lot. Nobey space O-N-E. That's an animator who makes a bunch of goofy stuff. But it's kind of like weird. I don't know how to explain it exactly. It's like, what if somebody was like someone who's like slept in your walls and lived in your walls, came out to ask you to hurry up and like buy more cookies because he's hungry, and he noticed that you haven't been getting out of bed recently and he's really hoping you go to the store. So he wakes you up in the middle of the night to tell you to go to the store and asks politely, and then just goes back to the walls and sleeps there. So I think that one's good. Nobey1's really solid. I think they're relatively small. There's a speedrunner channel that talks about Jak and Daxter stuff called The Rixer, Tharixer. I really like The Rixer. His stuff's pretty good. It's like well edited. It's and I think it's more exciting than something like Summoning Salt. Summoning Salt's pretty dry when he talks about that stuff, but I really like the way the Rixer covers it. I think he does a good job making it exciting at the same time. Let's see, yada yada, blah blah, yap yap, looking at all these goddamn names. A lot of the people I do watch are fairly big. That is true. But at the same time, I don't watch a lot of new people either. I don't remember how big his channel is. Corax? C-O-R-A-X? I like him too. He makes some video essays and animation stuff. Donk TK, D-O-N-K, TK. That's pretty damn good. That's another animator guy. I do like B-Mask. And we'll call it there. If there's anyone else, my condolences. What's your favorite video game, Jompney? My favorite video game is We Love Katamari. I adore that game. I love that game oh so much. I just noticed that you're missing Security Breach Part 1. Yeah. Don't worry about that. So who's that one developer I was talking about before? Scroll down, scroll down. It was this one. The person made a game called Ignited Entry, and their development name is Jordiboi. 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 They make like annually a new horror game every single time, and I really, really like their stuff. I think as far as like horror games go, it looks like his real name is Jordan Lindgren. But I really like that guy. I think the stuff that he puts forward is like not necessarily the most unique stuff, but it's trying to be good as opposed to trying to be super marketable. The only thing that they really do that's like marketing, sort of, is that the voice actors are often YouTubers that have played his games, which I think is fine. They do a fine job with it and everything. But he makes games that I think are relatively creative, and they're not trying to cash in on trends. They're just trying to be like a good horror game. And so I actually look forward to playing their games. I wouldn't say they're my favorite developer ever, but I do look forward to whatever they put out next. Viscous Snake Katamari, spelled like that, with a K. We love Katamari. I adore that game so much. I think it's just raw fun. I like everything about it. The music kicks ass, the visuals kick ass. I think it's actually super well designed. I think it's creative. I think it's interesting. It has quirks. I fucking love We Love Katamari, man. It's so good. I've loved it forever. Someone asked me the best burger I've ever had. That's actually a good question. I know this is anti-American, but I'm not a huge fan of hamburgers, but I'm gonna be honest, the best one I've had recently was probably Culver's. I think Culver's made a really good one. Like I've had like Big Macs and fast food chains and stuff like that. But if I'm gonna get a sandwich, usually I'm gonna get a chicken sandwich instead of a burger. But Culver's is pretty good. Femtanol. I don't actually like Femtanol's music. I think I looked it up because you guys kept talking about it. What the fuck are you talking about? Hold on. I'm looking at something to see if I'm a dumbass or not. Yeah, Archfiles, if you do whatever that hashtag thing is you're talking about, I probably will ban you, time you out, something like that, because I don't know what it is. And so I'd rather it not be here. What about bacon burgers? Bacon burgers can be good. I think it really depends. A lot of the time it depends on the location more than on the type of burger, because it's how they cook it, right? Sometimes so, Viscous Snake, what you're saying is true. Sometimes the bacon is cooked too much and it's like burned, and because of that, when you eat it, it's really dry. It dries out the entire burger. Which fucking sucks. That's not cool. But you can get like high quality, good bacon and put that on a burger and it actually tastes just fine. There's also like whether or not it's cooked as crumbles or if it's cooked as not crumbles. And actually made in strips. There's a bunch of stuff that goes to it. I think if you dice the bacon, then it's better because you don't have any like fatty part that you have to bite through. But it depends more on the place than on the type of burger, I would say. Right? Like there are times when you could be like, oh, well, I hate fish sandwiches or something, right? That sounds totally unappealing. But there might be one place that makes it really, really good. And then you're like, okay, well, it turns out everyone just makes bad fish sandwiches. That happens to me plenty. Have you watched Indie Cross? I think I've heard of it. I don't actually know what that is. Indie Cross. Crazy, I can actually Google this shit. It's on Game Jolt. Oh, this looks autistic. Oh yeah, that looks autistic as hell. So it's a, okay, I have heard of this. So it's a bunch of indie game characters crossed over. This is like one of those Undertale kind of things. What is it? Like other universes? Alternate universes, that's what it is. It's a crossover. It's just like Tales Get Trolled, except it's like not, it's probably not as good. Friday Night Funkin', they got Sans from Undertale, they got Cupman, they got Bendy and the Ink Machine, which I still think people only liked because of the design. I'm not watching that. Crazy. How is it autistic? What part autistic? What, the game? No, because any video game crossover like fan work is going to be somewhat autistic. Like internet autistic, you know? It's like if you have a DeviantArt page that you've created, you're 1% autistic, right? At least. It was not the quintessence you, speaking of this. Do you go to Comic-Con? If so, are you gonna go to San Diego Comic-Con? That's on the other side of the planet for me. But I do go to conventions. I just wouldn't go to San Diego Comic-Con. I went to SakuraCon, which was over in Washington State, I might say. I went there, I saw the Great Fire, that was cool. That smoked out Artist Alley, that was nice. I waited in line for 4 hours to get my fucking entry pass. All very cool stuff. I really harassed the shit out of Brian right there. Can you recommend a workout routine that will collapse my sternum? Yeah, so what you do is, it's a barbell bench press, and you do it with the suicide grip, right? And you try to go for a 1 rep max without ever having tried the suicide grip before. That'll collapse your sternum real good. That will destroy your sternum completely. Suicide grip? Yeah, so you know how if you hold onto a pole, you have all of your fingers wrap around on one side and then your thumb wraps around on the other side, right? So that gives you a really good secure grip because your thumb supports it on one side and your fingers support it on the other side. So imagine taking your thumb and putting it on the same side as your other fingers, so it's only supported on one side. And then you're holding several hundred pounds over you, and all you're doing is trying to stack it on your on the fat of the bottom of your hand. It's called a suicide grip because if it slips, you die. Now, if you do a suicide guillotine press, then you'll really die, let me tell you that. So if you want to break your sternum, go ahead and do that. You'll die, and it's very cool. I've seen plenty of people drop the weight on their chest and they shattered multiple ribs. Why would anyone even do it? People say that moving the thumb somehow hits your chest better. Now, that's called stupid and wrong and made up, but some people say it does. So anything for the gains, you feel me? Hey, Bailey and Parkinson, how you doing? Would I pull off a Chen cosplay? Nah, I never go in, I'm not a cosplayer. I am a high roller when I go to a place like a Comic-Con or something like that. And by that I mean I go to the Artist Alley and I spend like $500. I just buy a fucking ridiculous amount of things. That's what I do. I go there and go, oh cool, pictures of cosplayers, and I can look at cosplayers and all that stuff. Give me the fucking Artist Alley. I need to buy 700 pins. I need to buy a bunch of posters. That's what I do. Welcome back, fellow Jumbo member. Hello, unknown. Welcome back. So what is bro yapping about today? I don't know. Whatever. Just ask me a question or something. How have you been, Jumbo? My sleep is dog shit. And it's getting in the way of everything, but I can't wait to go talk to the doctor. I covered that a bit at the beginning, but I have a cool sleep disorder. That's the word I was looking for before. So I'm trying to get that sorted so I don't have to sleep so much. I can't do Bulgarian split squats. I mean, I can, and they blow out my legs and stuff just fine, but I feel like it's too hard to recover from. And then along with that, I feel like it's such it's such a pain in the heart, you know, because you need to have your cardio good enough to be able to do it. For me, I'd rather do two-legged stuff. I think it hits it just fine as well. You ever sleep 16 hours on the weekend? Yeah. Yeah, I sleep 16 hours relatively frequently if I don't manage my sleep correctly. Lazy on the animation? Don't worry, animation's tough. Good night, Blue. Have a good one. Damn, I can't wait to go back to work on Monday. You fool. It's Memorial Day on Monday, so I don't have to go to work. Yes, Swishy, my doctor is nice. I actually drive an hour to go talk to my doctor. Because I like the doctor. She's very nice, she's cool, she listens to me, she advises me very well on things, and so I'm willing to drive really far to go talk to her. So that's why I go to my doctor, and I like my doctor. I rarely sleep. I refuse to let human weakness get the better of me. If I get 7 hours of sleep, I can hardly do shit like the entire rest of the day. It fucks me up big time. Memorial Day, it's like when you memorialize the people who dies in the American wars, I'm pretty sure. It's like a military one. Let me remind myself to make sure I'm not completely stupid. Let's see. No, fucking Memorial Day, asshole. Fucking Google. Memorial Day is... Let's see. Yep, okay, I was right. It is a day to honor and remember the men and women who died while serving in the US military. Thank goodness I remember my holidays. It's very similar to Veterans Day. But actually, yeah, they're different. I'm pretty sure they're different. Jompo's getting destroyed. June is a cheap motherfucker. I hate this stupid ass character. Play Dinosaur Run? Is that the Google one? Dinosaur Run is the, yeah, right? Dinosaur Run. Yeah, that's the shitty one. Okay, no, there's a game called Dino Run that's like a cool, fun version of a running dinosaur game. That's all right. When Fan's done with the thumbnail, I will be giving you... I will be giving you a beautiful, beautiful dinosaur video anyway, so you can look forward to that. The next highlights are about dinosaurs. Does that sound stupid? It is a little stupid. Damn, my combo game is crazy. Whoa, wacky. But no rush, Fan. It's my fault. I'm stupid and wait a million billion years for you to send. There's this wonderful thing that I do, which is that I sketch, like, I know it's gonna take me some time to like sketch my little sketch that I send to Fan. And so I'll have like 5 different highlights ready in terms of I edited them together. And then Fanacito, I'll reach out to 2 weeks later and be like, can you put this one together? And she'll be like, yeah, I can put that together. And then I'm like, okay, thank you. And then I get it back and I'm like, I'll reach out to you again tomorrow because I have this thing edited already. And she'll be like, okay. And then like a week and a half later, hey, Fan. I fuck up so often. Jumpo, will you ever play a real-time strategy? I don't know how fun it would be to watch me play a real-time strategy. Someday I'll be on a real good schedule, Fan. Someone asked me what state I live in? Oh, it's Archviles. Yeah, nah. My IP address? Kia! That's only something I'd share with my ISP! I need some water. I love real-time strategy. Well, there really aren't many real-time strategy games right now, are there? If I was gonna play a real-time strategy game, I'd probably go back 100 million years and play a, oh, what was it called? I think it was called Star Wars Galactic Conquest. I think that's what it was called. Let's see. I think that game was really cool. Let's see. Star Wars I fat-fingered Galactic Conquest. No, that's the strategy mode in Star Wars Battlefront. What was it called? I'm sure I'll be able to find it. Hold on 1 second. Star Wars RTS game. Bzz. Let's see, it wasn't that one. Oh, Galactic Battlegrounds, that's what it was called. Galactic Battlegrounds was so fucking cool. Let's see, when did that game come out? Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds came out in 2001. That's probably the one I would go and play. Bumble, would you play Psychonauts? Oh yeah, they came out with a sequel to that, right? Yeah, I played the original one a million years ago on PlayStation 2. What's your favorite movie, Jompo? Well, I am a big fan of the movie Wreck-It Ralph. That is my absolute favorite movie. I don't think it's the best movie ever made, but it's my favorite movie. Oh, Galactic Battlegrounds, how these graphics look so damn cool. Let's see. Oh my god. It's such a throwback. Seeing all the pre-rendered. Okay, hold on. If I save this image and then I put this image in the just chatting and then I go to, where's OBS? Let's see. OBS, I want to find. Do I not have an image in here? Okay, hold on. Let's do a new image. It'll be called Image 2. Very cool. So it shows up right there in the corner, invisible, and then I slide it down to hide it from you guys so I don't click on the wrong thing. I'll move it over here and then click here and then, what is it, filters or properties? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so then go here, then go to just chatting, and then go to this, and then go to that. And it loads that up. Take a look at this beautiful fucking picture. Look at this. Look at those graphics, baby. That looks so damn cool. I love the aesthetic of these older games. I think that looks so neat, so beautiful. Right? Yeah, it's in 4x3, but look at it, dude. It's all pre-rendered and shit, and it's got that glow. It's got that style. Oh my god, I'm so nostalgic. My grandfather showed me this game. He said, look how cool it is, Star Wars, but it's like a game. Very neat. The sequel to Wreck-It Ralph was better. The funny thing is, Morby, I literally saw that. It was getting a sequel, and I thought to myself, I love Wreck-It Ralph, and I know the sequel's not gonna be interesting. So I think that's the one where they go to the internet and I ignored it. I just pretend like it doesn't exist. I didn't even bother watching it because I knew it would be bad. Honestly, I feel the same way about like Zootopia 2. I actually really like Zootopia as much as I think it doesn't do a good job delivering the message it intended. And I think the conflict between like the third act conflict between the main characters is very forced and out of character for them. But I really like the movie. I've watched it a number of times. It's great background noise. I think it's fun to just watch. I think it looks great and all that. And Judy Hopps, I know what she can hop on, but Zootopia 2 probably gonna suck ass. I'm just gonna be real. I don't think Disney does very good making movies most of the time. Jumpo, have you played Lollipop Chainsaw, says Fanacito. That was weird. It froze. Yeah, Lollipop Chainsaw I have not played. It didn't seem very interesting to me at the time, but I think it was that I didn't... Was it that I didn't have the console for it? Or maybe I was just moving... I don't know. Something compelled me to not do it. I was not interacting with it for some reason. But no, I've never played it. Does Tekken have character abilities or the same Hurtbox moves, just different costumes? Each character is completely unique, if that's what you mean. And the Hitbox, Hurtbox stuff is tied to their character model outside of certain quirks, like when you're crouching. What if Wreck-It Ralph really wanted you to buy Malwarebytes and use eBay? I'm gonna be honest, when I saw the when I saw the Wreck-It Ralph 2 ad, and it was, look everybody, in Wreck-It Ralph 2, Vanellope talks with all of the Disney princesses on the Disney website. I thought, oh, it's ass. This is gonna be ass. Because that's the circle jerk. That wasn't, hey, look how cool our movie is. It was, hey, remember Disney made your childhood. Remember that? And yeah. That's our ad campaign? I went, oh, they're not even talking about the fucking movie. It's over. It is over. Jompo, do you prefer the Kanban cardboard rabbit or the rabbit from Zootopia? Well, if there was one for me to smooch, I'd have to go with Kanban cardboard. Also, the rabbit would be too small. Wreck-It Ralph is the one where they hack the Pentagon, right? Dare I say, they do that in the sequel, I think. Have you guys seen the Zootopia 2 stuff? I haven't watched the ad for it because I think it's gonna suck anyway. But, you know, I really don't think it's gonna be very interesting. When I saw that they were making a sequel, I thought it could technically work because they are gonna do like cop stuff, right? It could be another investigation, but how are they going, like, Nick and Judy are already like homies now, so their dynamic is going to be purely banter, but they already resolved the character conflict between each other. So in what way is it going to like build them? Well, the answer is the same thing that they did with every other shitty, terrible fucking cartoon movie sequel that they've ever done. They take a snake and they throw it in and say, we have a third character they're gonna have to deal with now. And frankly, I don't think I'm gonna get invested in the stupid fucking snake. I don't really care what they do about it. I don't think they're going to win me over again in the character dynamic between the two characters. So I just don't, I just don't think that's gonna fly. Jumpo, you know a game called Sunset Overdrive? Yeah, I've heard of that. Wasn't that like a million years ago? I think that was like a million years ago. Sunset Overdrive was that like an Xbox 360 game? I don't remember. Sunset Overdrive. Well, it's on Steam. The first question on Google is, why is Sunset Overdrive so good? Yeah, 2014 action-adventure video game by Insomniac. Oh, it's by Insomniac, huh? Insomniac's like hit and miss for me. Ratchet and Clank's cool, but I feel like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I tried playing their Infamous games, and I didn't think those were very engaging to me. Jumpo Half-Life 2 stream when? I've never played Half-Life, actually. There are some good old classic things that I've never gotten around to playing. 2014 was 11 years ago. Crazy, right? It seems like it was just yesterday. Morby, Pinky in the Brain, and the third one. Godzilla and Godzuki. Crazy. I got fucking eviscerated by Fang. I can't believe this. Who the hell is texting me on my phone in this economy? There was a transaction. Beautiful. Oh yeah, fucking terrible story happened to me recently. So, I don't know if you guys are all like Americans or not. I know some of you aren't, but so, when it comes to mail in the United States, essentially, I have a mailbox. And then when someone wants to deliver a package, they can put it in a little locked box that they have access to. But sometimes, instead of delivering a package to me, they will instead decide to not deliver a package to me for some reason. So what they do is they show up, and then they might leave the package at the front door if they're cool, or they'll say, we knocked and no one was there, so, we took the package back and we'll try again a different time, right? And so what happened was I ordered a Chen Fumo from Japan, which cost me $90 fucking to get it shipped over to me. And what they did was they showed up, said, no one's here at the mailbox. And I can't give it to them. And I don't really feel like printing out that slip to put on like their door to tell them to contact us. So, yeah, whatever. And so they fucked off. And they did it again and fucked off. And they did it again and fucked off. And they didn't notify me a single fucking time. And so what ended up happening was they sent it back to Japan. I don't have my fucking package. And you know what's the worst part? They only pinged my number and said a package has been delivered when it got delivered to fucking Japan. So they didn't ping me at all. To be fair, I didn't check the inside of my mailbox because I only get fucking spam messages ever. I never get anything important. So I think what they did was they came up with the package, said, I don't know what to do with this. They put the slip in my mail, and then they just fucked off. And they did that 3 times, and they took all of my mail and then my package, and then said, no one picked this up, so you have to go to the actual mail office 10 minutes down the road to go pick it up. It's fucking bullshit. And I gotta get it again. I gotta do it again. Oh, it's so powerful. Look, everybody, it's Your Forger from Spy Family. I just launch punished Your Forger from Spy Family. Ain't that crazy? Yeah, all that mail stuff fucking sucks. So I'm gonna have to get the Fumo again. I didn't even get a refund, by the way, because why would I? They didn't have the problem. I did buy it on eBay, so I'm gonna send them a message and be like, hey, would you perchance be kind enough to just send it back to me and I'll pay for like the shipping and maybe a convenience fee? So you can just send it back to me, please? and if I can, that'd be cool. If not, I guess I'll just pay again. It's so expensive. Mail sucks, I agree. I wish the motherfuckers would just put the box at my goddamn door. I don't know why they won't. I have a door, just drop it the fuck off. Then I get pinged 18 million different ways. I will get pinged that it is delivered when it's successfully delivered. So I'll just step out and get it. I don't see why they don't do that. It's so annoying. But no, they'd rather just fuck with me. They'd rather put shit in a fucking parcel locker that I have to go out to my mail and get. Or they take it back and say, we'll try again later. Fucking bullshit. It pisses me off. It makes me mad. I buy this shit and then I have to deal with the goddamn delivery service. Assholes. Well, that's how I feel about that. You gotta do a budget spreadsheet, Balian? That seems like a lot of effort. God, I can't imagine doing a goddamn budget spreadsheet all the time. I hate that fucking mix-up. I hate that mix-up. June is such a bitch. What you're supposed to do on that is that if she does her 1, 2, 3 and you block it, then she can mix you up. But if she hits you with the 1, 2 and then you duck at any point, you can launch punish the third attack of it. And there's no mix-up to catch you if you're trying to crouch under it. Fucking annoying. I hate June. I think she's such an obnoxious character to fight against. And die, bitch. Hell yeah. Yeah. Jumpo doesn't need a budget with his billions of YouTube monies. No, I understand, yeah, the personal one. Fortunately, you are correct, grace be upon you. I don't have to do a budget spreadsheet for myself. Very nice. Doesn't have to do with YouTube money, that's for sure. But yeah, budgeting things out really is a pain in the ass. Fortunately, I just don't have to do it. But... Oh, I feel for you. Please do well. Please. Grace be upon you. Wait, no, not you. Fuck you. I'm going up one more name. Balian Parkinson. You're the one that I think, yes, budget well. Make that cash. What do you think about the spam light attack makes a good combo trope in some fighting games? Usually it doesn't make a good combo, it just makes a decent combo. Good enough to like let someone whack. I think it's fine. I think it's totally fine. I think being able to do like a decent combo easily works well. I think Guilty Gear had a good system. Was it Guilty Gear? I think it's Guilty Gear. I think Guilty Gear did a very good job of making it intuitive. Because I'm pretty sure that one had, it was, you do light, heavy, slash, dust. And that would be a 4-hit combo with almost every character. And I think that's very easy to learn, get a handle of, and say, okay, I can hit them buttons. You know, that's a combo I can throw out and do something with. Because like Street Fighter doesn't have that kind of thing, right? To do a Street Fighter combo, you have to have some amount of knowledge of pushback and frame data, not necessarily perfectly, but it's hard to put things together. But that would be like a very basic thing, but it doesn't limit what you can do, and then you can do more than just the light, heavy, slash, dust. Right? And then you can go into all the other things. The fancy ass combos are like way crazier than simple 4-button hits. Yeah, what Morby said, the auto combos are generally a lot worse than bread and butters, but yeah, they're for the easy baby newbies to get used to. And then after they start doing those combos and they're like, oh, well, this guy's hitting me with this kind of thing or that kind of thing, and I don't know how to mix them up, and what do I do? Then the next step is I can now learn an actual not auto combo. Now, Didi, I can't actually think of a game that has an auto combo that's good enough to replace actual combos. Like DBFZ, you can do like a standard auto combo, and you will launch somebody up, hit him into the ground, and you can do a super afterwards. But if you know how to play the game, you're gonna have to do that like 3 or 4 times in order to actually kill the guy, as opposed to just doing the combo that you could learn otherwise that would just kill the guy instantly almost, like a 1-tap to death. What is it? 1 to death? 0 to death? Something like that. Why do you like this character, Jompo? What, Lily? So the reason I play Lily, in Tekken specifically is because 1, she's hot, 2, she's a woman, and 3, I actually like how she plays the most out of all of the characters except for Paul Phoenix. But Paul Phoenix is the character that I used in Tekken 7 all the time, and I wanted to change things up. Touch of Death, thank you. But the main thing is when I play a fighting game, I go for the feel of the character. If I try the moves out, which one feels like innately it makes sense to me? And then I pick that character. So since I played enough Paul Phoenix and I didn't want to just be Paul Phoenix over again, I decided to swap up and find another character, found Lily, and it worked really well. And she's hot, and I want to plow, and she's technically not French. She's only, but she speaks French, so yeah, you know, she's safe. I'm fucking king. Thoughts on Grand Blue? I actually like Grand Blue quite a bit. I think when it first came out, it was very iffy. I didn't like it that much. It felt awkward to play. I didn't feel like I had the options that I wanted, because I like freeform kind of stuff in fighting games. So when I was feeling all of that, Grand Blue just didn't really speak to me. I played as Charlotta, which was fun, but it just didn't, it felt weird. But then they came out with that whole, like, not expansion, but they like re-released the game as like the fancy schmancy deluxe version. And that game, I think, is fun. I think the current state of the Grand Blue games is fun, but, and this is a big but, like a fat ass, fellas, I hate guard buttons. I can't stand guard buttons. I do not like that someone can hit a button and get rid of my cross up. I think that's annoying. I think every fighting game should be pressed back to block. Otherwise, it pisses me off. I cannot fucking stand that shit. Personally, I think right now my favorite feeling games when it comes to fighting games are either Melty Blood, whatever the newer one's called. I think it's Type Lumina. I think that one is probably my favorite feeling fighting game right now. And then my favorite feeling older game is probably BlazBlue Central Fiction. I think those are my two favorites when it comes to just like throwing out hits. In Melty Blood, I play as, what's her name? Miyako? Something like that, right? What's the little girl's name that does like the Baji Kwan? Melty Blood Baji Kwan. It is, yeah, Miyako. So I play Miyako in Melty Blood, and then in BlazBlue, I play as Platinum the Trinity. That makes me happy. I love that shit. Don't hit the llamas, they gotta get the fuck out of the way. I can't believe I'm so bad at breaking grabs. I got perfected. So tragic. Where the fuck did my window go? God damn. Oh, there it is. Wait, that's not it. Where'd my window go? Let's see. Let's minimize that, move this. Where the fuck did I put my goddamn thing? So there's that one, and then there's this one. Oh, there it is. Okay. Found it. Beautiful. BlazBlue's so good. Yeah, you feel like it's the only fighter that has combo expression? I don't know if that's true. I think, Morby, have you tried playing, Melty Blood? Type Lumina? Or Unist, if you've tried that. Whatever the new version is, Uniclear, whatever. I think those games both have a good amount of combo expression. Because you can do a lot of fancy stuff. Like, you can mix up whether or not you want to do something because it looks funny or because it's cool. Sure, there's like an optimal way of doing it, but there's a lot of like, I want to opt into like the one frame link, or I want to opt into doing a very challenging like hop juggle or something along those lines, or you can do a fairly standard kind of a thing. Discord matchmaking, you do Discord matchmaking? I guess if you play it online. I usually play it with friends, so I don't have that problem. But yeah, French bread stuff's damn good. I think you'd probably like them. Do you consider Smash a fighting game or a party game? I think it's a party game that can be played competitively. I think the best way of putting it is that it's a platform fighter, right? Falls into that category. So it's not the same as like your traditional 2D or 3D fighting games, but it's also not, it's not so simple as to just be like a casual game, because you can play it competitively. Technically, you can play like everything competitively, but I think Platform Fighter puts it in a good spot. Although I think it's only fun when you play it as a party game. I don't actually like competitive Smash. I think it's very unfun to play and unintuitive to control. But you know, that's just how things are. I'm not a big Smash Bros fan, to be honest. Damn, water tastes good. What time is it? Damn, time flies when you're blabbing about nothing, huh? Yeah, for Smash Bros, I remember trying to get good at Brawl, but I was stupid and didn't know how to play video games very well, so I was really bad at Brawl. And then when Smash Ultimate? Yeah, Smash Ultimate came out. I tried to get good at that, but it pissed me off because Shield was so safe that you either had to perfectly space something out, or a lot of moves would just automatically be punishable because of just how strong the goddamn fucking shields were. That's how I felt. I don't know if they ever patched it or anything, but yeah, to me it's I didn't like it. And then there's so much weird buffer shit you have to work around. They took out dash dancing. Smash Ultimate I don't even like. I think it's better than Smash 4 or whatever. Unless Smash Ultimate's the same. No, Smash 4, fuck, whatever. The two newest ones I'm not a big fan of. I don't think they control very well. I don't like having to fight around it. Melee's the only good Smash competitively. I think that's fair, but the skill floor is stupid. I do think... Ah, fuck, I'm lagging like a motherfucker. Am I back? Alright, there we go, now we're back. That was fucking crazy. The internet demon slapped me in the goddamn head. Well, that's my one lag spike. How painful. But it's good now. What was I saying? I was saying, oh yeah, the, Melee feels like shit to play until you get to it. Like, you have to spend time with it in order to make it feel good. The lack of buffer feels uncomfortable. Like, later games overdo the buffer, but Melee has no buffer. The tightness of having to put these things together, like for a combo, can be really uncomfortable. I actually think that L canceling is one of the dumbest fucking things ever, and I hate it. Every time I land, I gotta I gotta cancel the fucking end lag. That's bullshit. That's fucking annoying. But yeah, that's all frustrating. I really don't like Smash Bros. As like a competitive game. I think Melee's fun to watch, but that's about it. Jumbo asked fan for a lag po emoji. What is that even gonna be? What would that be? Great question. I still do have like a million emoji things I need to talk to fan about. But right now I need to get through the backlog of thumbnails that I keep not telling fan about. It's even laggy on my end. Like, I'm not dropping frames anymore since that one lag spike. I'm not dropping any frames, but I can see that YouTube's kind of shitting itself right now trying to figure out what to do with it. Yeah, if you're struggling, just go ahead and refresh the page. Fan says, what? Nah, the backlog isn't backlog of things that I've queued for you, fan. It's a backlog as in I have a bunch of highlights done, and I just need to actually send you. I have a few ideas, says Viscous Snake. You're allowed to express them at any point in any location. Very cool. Yawn, stretch. Oh yeah, you guys hear that shitty Night Rain game is gonna be coming out soon? On like, it's what, on Wednesday? I think that's when it is, right? Hit me with the Windows sound. Night Rain release. It is May 30th. May 30th is on Friday. Cool. Night Rain, huh? So one of the things, there's like this tragic situation that I live in where, I think that, I don't know how controversial this is necessarily. So, back when Dark Souls came out and it became the new hotness, right? That everyone was talking about. Have you played any Souls-likes? That's what I'm getting to. When I started playing Souls-like stuff, what I was thinking was, oh yeah, this is really cool. Like, the gameplay's fun, but how fascinating this world is. Like, how interesting all the characters are and the designs of the enemies and all of that kind of stuff. The gameplay is like serviceable, it's good, right? It's well designed for what it is, but at the same time, I'm not really playing it for that. When I play a game like Dark Souls, I play it for the aesthetics and the beauty of the world and all that kind of shit, right? I want to get immersed into the world, and I think it works very well that way. And I went back and played Demon Souls, and it was very much in the same vein, right? It's also something that is very pleasant to go through and very interesting, and the world is immersive, and it has an interesting sound design and interesting music and an interesting world and yada yada blah blah blah. Dark Souls 2, anything. If refreshing the page doesn't work, it's not me anymore. I lagged one time. I'm not dropping frames. You're telling me that you're still fucking lagging, that's crazy. Well, unfortunately, YouTube is ass, and I can't actually, like, refresh, air quotes, the connection. If I disconnect, I would have to start a new stream. That's just the power of YouTube, baby. Have you finished your manifesto yet? Not quite. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. The cool thing about Souls-like games is that I think the immersive qualities are far more fascinating and far more enjoyable than the combat. I don't think that the gameplay is bad, but I also don't think the gameplay is as good as people say. And one of my friends is the exact opposite. He's like, I don't care about the world or the immersion or anything like that. I care about the gameplay. And personally, that's really confusing to me because I think rolling out of the way of things and then hitting back is not that interesting of a gameplay loop. Yeah, the enemies can be very interesting in the creative ways that they try to hit you, but I think the enemies are only interesting in that they are unique and fascinating in terms of design, not necessarily in terms of they swing at you, right? That's a major issue with something like Dark Souls 2, where most of the enemies ended up having very similar movesets of like, they'll have like a 1-2-3 combo, a stab, an overhead swing, a horizontal swing, things like that. And it's too samey, you know? Even though I'm going in and seeing all that, there's nothing to it. Why don't they have different fighting styles? Why don't they have like different moves? Why don't they have anything more interesting? Not for the sake of just the gameplay, but also for the sake of like the world building, right? Personally, I find it as immersion comes first. I think without the immersive qualities, Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, all that kind of stuff wouldn't be interesting. I think if you took out the fascinating world and stuff and you just copied, like, let's say this, right? Let's imagine that you went into a game where it's a bunch of nameless characters. It is just a beat 'em up game where you beat something up and then it says, move on to the next battle. And then you move on and it's just like a boss rush, right? There's no lore, there's no story, the graphics aren't all that interesting, the character designs aren't very fascinating, but their movesets are really good and it plays like a Souls-like. I don't think that game would be very good. And I don't think anyone would like it. The issue, of course, is that people don't realize that and they want their shitty dog shit, you know, combat focused stuff, and they end up just over focusing it. I want the combat. I need the big combat. And so they're like, okay, well, here's the combat thing. And they're like, yes, this is what I wanted Dark Souls to be. And what ends up happening is that it moves what Dark Souls and Demon Souls was, and it moves it into just a game that's not as interesting. I don't know if you guys have played the fucking boring ass Elden Ring DLC, but the Elden Ring base game was very good in terms of like immersion and exploration and things like that. It did a very good open world in that regard. Of course, you would have to actually want to interact with things, but what I found was a lot of people said, I'm not interested. I don't like it. I don't like the open world. I don't like it because I can just run by these guys and grab the item and leave. Or because it's not a boss, and so I want to go over here and find a boss. And things like that. I'm like, dude, you're buying a game that has two major things, gameplay and like this world building, and you're skipping the world building just for the gameplay, and you're like, oh, well, why the gameplay not good enough? The fuck are you doing? You're missing the other part, right? It's not like it's a fighting game. I feel like they're missing the forest for the trees. They're trying to force the game to be a certain way. And to some extent, I feel like FromSoft either made a mistake or they listened to the feedback when they made the DLC for Elden Ring, and they made this big, stupid, open, boring world that has nothing in it. And they're enemies that have no items near them. There's no reason to interact with any of the enemies. The lore isn't that important for each of the locations until you get into one of like the legacy dungeons, as they're called. And I was just thinking, dude, like, great, we did it, everybody. We got our combat Elden Ring game. And guess what? It's fucking boring. It's boring running around and not being able to interact with anything or find anything cool or find new upgrade materials or anything like that. Finally, I can full sprint to each of my objectives for 5 minutes. It's like I'm on a long loading screen and just go over and go fight the things there. And it was fun when you were in there, but it wasn't fun any other time, like the other Elden Ring one was. And there's, you know, it's annoying. And then when I see Night Rain, for me, I just see you run from boss to boss and fight them. Like, this is the epitome of what I don't want a Souls-like game to be. This is like the opposite of what I want a Souls-type game to be like. It's very unfortunate. I'll end up getting it. I'll end up trying it, and maybe I'll eat shit. Maybe they fixed up the combat so good and made it so fun that the immersion just isn't a big deal. That the world building doesn't matter. That might be the case. But my expectations aren't that high for it. I'm gonna try it though, you know. I'll see. But that's it, baby. But it's whatever. I'll probably try to play Night Rain on stream next week. I think that'll be easier. I need to double check. Windows. Thank you. Let's see. Next week is, yeah, the week of the 31st. I don't have anything that would conflict with that. Okay, yeah, that would be no problem. I'll probably play it next week. I think that'll be easy enough. What is one enemy from a game that you've played that you genuinely despise? That's a fair question. There was a game I was thinking about recently that was pissing me off, but I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, what am I doing? Why can't I think of it, bro? Oh, this is pissing me off. I actually have an answer in my head. I just can't remember. I fucking played the game recently, and I can't remember what the enemy is. I can't even remember what the game is. Hold on, let me go on Steam real quick. If I go over to, Yep, that ended up not having the answer for me. Let's think. Scratch his chin. So I think when it comes to enemies, one of the things that I really don't like is when a game tries to like sort of push you a certain way, but it ends up being, well, it's sort of an ineffective way. There's, you know, here's one. In Kingdom Hearts 2, right, there's a enemy that has a lot of health that is like this fire wizard that flies around, right? The like flame wizard thing, what it'll do is it'll just fly around and it'll put these fireballs on you that constantly spawn, and then after like a full second it pops, right? And so if you want to fight the enemy, the only answer you really have to fight it is like if you jump up and just whack it, then the balls will spawn on you and beat the shit out of you. It doesn't flinch, so it doesn't move when you hit it, and you can hit it with magic, but that's really the only answer you have. So you either hit it with an ice move and then try to get around the fire, even though you're probably gonna take a hit after getting the ice move off, or you do what you do with most of the enemies that get annoying in that game, and you use the reflect button, and then you just win using that. It is unfortunate. As much as I like Kingdom Hearts 2, I do think it has very easy answers to what could be an interesting, complex system. And yeah, that's a bit tragic, that's all. Oh yeah, by the way, I know you guys are looking at me get my ass kicked by Jak 8. In this game, knowledge checks are very, very important. And so whether or not you know the matchup of how to react to a certain person is more important than probably knowing your own character. I do not know shit about Jak 8. I cannot comprehend him because I never really fought against him. And that's why I get fucking rolled, baby. Beautiful. Oh, and I lose. Hell yeah. Thoughts on the Metal Gear series? I played the first disc of the first Metal Gear series on PlayStation, and then I went to school, and I forgot what happened. So that's the only Metal Gear game that I've ever played, but I actually own all of them physically. I just never got around to playing them. I wouldn't mind playing them, but again, that's like a cutscene heavy game to the extent that I don't know how good a stream would be of something like that. I would love to play the games, but it feels almost like it would be more of an on my own time kind of a thing. Fan, I don't actually remember the red demon birds in DMC3. DMC3 birds. the birds. Someone show me the fucking birds. Someone show me a picture. Come on. Oh, those things. Yeah, fuck those things. No, I remember that now. Those guys were assholes. It's villainous. How'd you come up with the name Jompo? I'm trying to find a catchy, simple name. I made it up. I literally just made it up. I have a habit of when I'm creating a new character or I'm creating an account or something like that, I have a few go-to names that I use for sure. But at the same time, I'll very frequently come up with something unique for the game that I'm playing. And so I came up with Jompo by thinking it sounded funny, and I made it up on the spot. But I do that kind of thing by saying like, I know what I'll call myself. It'll be Meridian. Pump Meridian is my new name. I'll just do that. So that's the best thing I got. So I just make up names that way. I got like a million different names that I've cycled through. And so it goes like that. I just make up names. I just try to make things that sound funny. And so Jompo's just one of them. One of them that I liked more than others, so I kept it. That's cool, actually. You know what's frustrating? This is completely off topic. Something really frustrating that I found is that it's very difficult to find, like, the people to work with. Like, if I wanted to hire an artist, or if I wanted to hire a voice actor, or if I wanted to hire an editor or something like that, it's so tough for me, for some reason, to find these people, because there's no good website where I can just find people. Whenever I try to look something up, it seems like Twitter's probably the best place to look for it, because you can use a certain hashtag and try to look through it, but you have no sorting beyond what was posted like today or what's popular. And sometimes you'll click on popular posts and it'll be from like 4 years ago and it's completely irrelevant. You go on something like Fiverr and the quality is mixed. You go on something like VGen and you can find weeaboo stuff, but really just weeaboo stuff. You don't find a lot of stuff outside of that. And it's starting to get like really frustrating. Like if I wanted to hire somebody to make a song for me, right? If I was like, oh, I want an end screen song. I want a song that when I'm done with my video, I can play it at the end. And I want it consistent. I want to own the song so there's no issue with like copyright or anything like that. But I want to hire somebody to do it so it'll be a unique song. How do I do that? Where the fuck do I search? I don't know. And that's the tough part, man. It's so hard to find like, where do I get a guy like that? I feel like the best way is through the grapevine. I was damn lucky to find Fan. And I found Fan just by going through Twitter for a million years. And then I happened to stumble across her at one point. She was one of 4 people that I found, and she was the one that responded to me of the 4 people. And it's worked out very well. It worked very well, but I will say I spent like double-digit hours trying to find artists. And it gets real frustrating, and it makes me fall apart. It makes me sad. I just wish it would be a little easier. When are you becoming a reactor channel? Never ever. Put me out of my misery if I become a reactor channel, bro. Only Fan responded of those 4, yeah. But that happens. There are a lot of artists that... I put it this way, artists are allergic to making money. So they'll be like, my commissions are open. Message me on Twitter. And then you'll go message them on Twitter and they won't respond to you for 3 months. I will gladly do it, Jompo. I don't know what you're referring to right now. Putting me out of my misery? Yeah, okay. No, yeah, go ahead, do that. That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, they're allergic to making money. There have been certain artists who were like really good. They were active on Twitter, and they say, hey, reach out to me via Twitter. You can either DM me on Twitter or you can email me. And I'm like, okay, that's easy. Well, where's your email? Well, like, well, I couldn't find it. They didn't post it anywhere. Okay, well, I guess I'll message them on Twitter. Oh, you aren't friends with this user, so you need to be friends with this user in order to send them messages. I'm like, oh, so I can't talk to you. How the fuck am I supposed to hire you for a commission when everything that you have is locked? I think I one time saw that and I sent a message to them. Like, I replied to their art and I said, hey, are you available for commissions? Your DMs are locked. And they just never replied. Okay, well, whatever. I guess I just won't interact with them. Guess that plan fell apart. So dumb, so tragic. But yeah, a lot of artists are that way. They don't know what, they don't know how to like respond, I guess, which is frustrating. Fan did a good job. She was just like, oh, hey, yeah, I can do that. And then she did it, and it worked. And the payment method was easy and all that stuff. So simple. Use your PUA skills on the art baddies to make thumbnails for free. With your muscular and tan body. Well, I wouldn't say tan. I am a ghoul, a ghost. Yeah, I just wish it was easier. I would like it if there was a more straightforward website. And also if there was a website for like YouTube stuff specifically, like finding YouTube editors or whatever, that would be cool. But a lot of them are also sign up only, and I'm not signing up for something where I don't even know how the fucking site works, okay? So, it's so annoying. I don't know. I'm thinking the best thing I can probably do is if I, this is baseless speculation. So Fiverr sucks ass. Most of the Fiverr stuff sucks. If you've ever seen, you know those really generic videos that you see from like a creator where it'll start out, it'll be like, hello everybody, welcome to my new channel! And they'll talk like that. And when it does it, they like zoom in, they use the same sound effects everyone else does. It has like the Metal Gear Solid like, Foom! Kind of like exclamation you got found sound. It has, oh my God, like that meme. It has memes all over the place, and it has the same kind of golf swing zooms and all that. It's like, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but it's one of those, oh, this person edits the exact same way everyone else edits. That's how almost everyone on Fiverr edits. And I think that shit's annoying. I'm fine with having like an edit in here and there, but I don't want it to take away and distract. You know, I'm not trying to do something where I'm trying to jingle keys in front of children to make them watch me. Sure, I might edit explosions on things and they're loud, but at the same time, I'm not doing, you know, I feel like I do it in a way that's a little less annoying. I did find one person on, what was it? I did find one person on Fiverr, and they made edits before. If you go back and watch any of the edits that have Chen in the corner when I'm talking, like the Disillusion ST one, and then some of the other ones, that was made by someone, oh my God, it's been so long I can hardly even remember their name. A Chewing Gum. It was made by A Chewing Gum, who I found on Fiverr. And I like their editing. I think they do a good job editing things, but I don't think they thought I was funny. And I thought that became a problem because there would be jokes that I tell where I'm like, that's a damn good joke. That's probably gonna make it. And it didn't make it. And I'm like, well, damn. You know, I want someone who like thinks, oh, damn, this Jompo fucker is funny and I want to edit their stuff. So it's like a good combination of things, right? Like they enjoy editing for my videos and then I enjoy the edits that they make. That's the real combo that you want more than anything. But otherwise you're gonna be like, oh, well, can you add this part in, or you missed this part, or you did that part. It was rough. But you know, I hope I can find someone at some point. I think the best thing I can probably do is go like join some YouTube group of YouTubers and be like, how the fuck do you guys find guys? Or are there editors available? And can you show me your work? And things like that. That's probably the best thing I can do. Jumbo, don't lose to the diddler. I hate to spoil it. I'm pretty sure I lose to the diddler. Damn! Crazy. Pitifully pops in and says, no, bye. Rest in peace. Can you add the Chen blush emoji after you get another emoji slot? Yeah, that's the next one on the list. It's just the other ones I thought would be more likely to be used. Although to be fair, I don't see people using them too often. But that's alright, I guess. Look, Kai died! The diddler has diddled Lily once again. Oh, tragic. Anyway, that's just a bunch of random speculation stuff. I probably need to watch some other streamers as well, I think. This is turning into a me speculating about my YouTube channel situation. Grace be upon you, thank you. I don't know about the marriage part, but I don't know, editing stuff's tough. And also asking my viewers is always a bit weird to me as well. Because, I don't know, it feels kind of mean if I was like, hey, it was good, but I don't want to hire you. I want someone else. It feels a bit rude. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings or nothing. YouTube stuff's kind of, complex because I don't really know where to go for most stuff. I am doing all of this alone. I did notice that, like, a lot of streamers, for example, they seem to have other streamer friends. I don't have any of that shit. I don't know anybody who streams. And I feel like it would be weird to just reach out to somebody, especially if they're like way, way bigger than me. You feel me? But I've been sort of figuring things out by banging rocks together. But I think if I watch other people's streams, I can figure some stuff out. I mean, just chatting streams seem tough. I did, there's this goofy thing that like I felt at one point, and I tried looking it up to see if anyone would sympathize just to like fix my brain, to make me feel better about myself. And I was like, dude, it's really fucking hard to keep up a conversation when you have no goddamn viewers. Like when I was first starting out, it would be a dead chat, right? No one would talk. Because why would they, right? No one's there. And so I'm like, well, how the fuck do I have a conversation with myself for like 2 fucking hours? How do I do that shit? And I ended up just looking into it. And other people are like, yeah, it's really tough. And then, you know, you get this little bit of jealousy. You're like, damn, that big streamer, that person who has like 100 chat messages per minute, how easy is that to just find the one comment out of that group that's interesting and respond to that? Like, god damn, that's so much easier. But at a certain point, I think I figured it out, because there are videos that I record off stream that I'm doing solo, and I'll be able to talk for 2 hours, and it's totally fine and interesting or funny or whatever. In fact, that's what my next video is, that you guys will be getting on this channel. The next video on the channel is something I played offline solo, and I did all of the cool stuff all alone. So, you know, it's something that you just have to learn and figure out, I guess. But it is still tough. And for like chatting streams, unless I have like a list of things to talk about, it does feel like I'm just rambling and then hoping you guys say something interesting. Jumpo, you are outmatched greatly. Yeah, the Diddler's doing a good job. I wouldn't say greatly though, I have taken rounds off of him. But I was having a lot of trouble figuring this guy out. He was understanding how to punish me pretty hard. The Diddler learns very good. I get stuck into muscle memory stuff a lot when I'm doing fighting games. Oh, that worked. What the fuck? See, they can also clip farm. Big streamers like iShowSpeed who get a bajillion messages per second can just make up chat messages and talk about random shit even if people didn't message it. Since no one's gonna fact check whatever they say, it's hard for small streamers. That is true. I've considered that as well. But yeah, it's not going fast enough for me to just make something up. I don't know. It is interesting though. When I watch certain people, I think, damn, how do they do that? How do they do such a good damn job doing what they're doing? Like, how'd they come up with that idea? Or how'd they come up with something on the fly so quick? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Did someone ask me how big my sack was, Dee Dee? That didn't even come through for me. That is pretty funny. Beautiful. But yeah, yapping's fun. I do like it. I do think it's tough though. For me, I've always thought that I wasn't the most interesting guy in the whole wide world, so coming up with random conversation topics didn't seem that interesting. But I'll probably have some things. I think sometime in late June, I'll probably do another chat stream. Because I'm gonna be going to, I don't know if you guys are theme park fans. I won't tell you the day, I won't tell you the time, I won't tell you any of that because that's identifying personal information. But at some point I'm going to be going to the new theme park over in Florida for Universal, the Epic Universe, that one. I'm gonna be visiting it because it's finally opening up to the public so people can go do that stuff. I got fucking rolled in that fight. And that sounds pretty cool. Epic Universe seems like it's gonna be neat. I go to the theme parks for different reasons than a lot of other people go to them. If I go to a theme park, it's usually not because I'm like, what crazy rides do they have? It's more along the lines of like, how did they put the theming together? How cool are the animatronics? All that kind of stuff. And that kind of stuff is really fascinating to me. I like seeing the like quote unquote world that they put together that they can, again, immerse you into. I think that stuff's really fucking cool. Personally, I'm most interested in the horror-based world. I forget what they called it, but they have like the world that's based off of like the classic horror movies that Universal put together, which is like, to me, a very neat addition. Because they have the How to Train Your Dragon, they have the Nintendo World, and then they have one other one that I keep forgetting the name of. Actually, what worlds do they have? Epic Universe Worlds. It is, oh yeah, Ministry of Magic. I don't know how I could forget that fucking Harry Potter one. But yeah, they have a Harry Potter world, a Nintendo world, How to Train Your Dragon world, which I think is closer to more of like child focused. And then they have the Dark Universe, and then like the central area, the Celestial Park. But I'm gonna go check that out. It's gonna be fucking neat, I think. And then I wanna just see how they built everything. Like a modern, brand new theme park. I don't remember the last time I've seen one. I know that certain worlds have been added. There's the, like Disney did the Star Wars world over at like MGM Studios or Hollywood Studios or whatever it's called now. And then they had the Avatar world at Animal Kingdom. But Epic Universe is brand new, which seems pretty cool. Have you been to Dollywood? No, I've driven past it, but I haven't actually been there. Is it just autism, or when you guys see special effects, do you think about how they did it and what program they used at what settings? I think about it sometimes. Mostly when I'm trying to like move stuff in, like when I'm editing things myself, I think I want to do an edit like what that one guy did. How do I do that? How did this guy do that? How do I edit it to make it look smooth? That kind of stuff. Because some of it's really fucking high quality, you know? How do you get this like how do you, what is the word? How do you like edit out everything except for someone's hand? Right? If they're moving it through something, besides like using a green screen. That kind of thing's pretty interesting. Like, do they use a program to edit everything else out? Or do they just manually do it really, really well? And if they do it manually, how do they do it so well? It's so interesting. How'd you keep going after losing like this? Reina's confusing as a character. She's one of the new characters, or she was one of the new characters. And I didn't know what was punishable and how to interrupt because she has these weird ass strings that go together. I think you're supposed to interrupt in the middle of it, and that's the mix-up interaction, but I don't really know how to do that stuff. But I like theme park stuff, going back to that. I think theme parks are really neat, or at least they can be. I've never been to Legoland because that's made for children. And I don't think there's really anything I'd do there. I think I would look at Legos and go, oh, cool. Chicken schnitzel and a strawberry milkshake on a sundae? I don't know. I've never had schnitzel. Yesterday I was really hungry, so I had spicy buffalo wings and pizza, which is definitely like the least healthy thing to eat, but it was damn tasty. Very cool. Raina's confusing. She's like smoking hot, but at the same time, I don't like her addition. And if you played the story mode, you'd probably be like, damn, she's in the game. There's not really much else going on. I don't really understand her. I don't know. The Tekken story mode, a lot of people are like, whoa, it's so crazy, but I've never really been that interested in it. I've always thought the story was stupid, but also stupid in a way that I didn't like. It wasn't just a bunch of cool stuff. You don't get that taste at all? What, thinking that Reina's hot? What are you talking about? She's gorgeous. There's a story mode in this game? Yeah, it's awful. I really don't like it. A lot of hype beast type people are like, whoa, dude, and then Jin comes in on a motorcycle and he does like a jump, and then, whoa, dude, Kazuya punches it and then shoots a laser. Fuck, whoa, it's crazy. All that kind of stuff. I can't do that kind of thing. I'm not really into that kind of stuff. If it looks funny, it's funny, but at the same time, this story is just, it's just a bunch of fucking nonsense. Just people beating the shit out of each other and very basic character arcs that don't really go anywhere really or matter. Yeah, but Reina as a character, I do not like her personality. I do not like her introduction to the story. I don't like anything, but I do like looking at her. So I'll say that. I say they did a good job making a woman I like looking at. I died. What other game should I play? I actually have a couple ideas. Let me see. I have a window sound? No window sound. Very cool. I have a text document open. Hold on, you guys might see my the fact that I play this on just have this up on VLC, and that's how I'm having this stuff move. Okay, it didn't happen. Let's see. I have. Let's see. 1, 2. Oh, did I not write that down? Oh, hold on. Not that, and then. What was it? It was. That's what it was. Okay, so the I'm going back and playing some games from 1,000,000 years ago. Joppo, tell me one woman you don't find hot. The old lady that runs the inn in the Studio Ghibli film Spirited Away. There you go. There's one. And that's the, I'm sure there's another one somewhere. I don't know, I can't think of any. Okay, one of the things that I was doing, right, was I downloaded Slug Lady is pretty hideous, you're right, from Monster Inc. I downloaded an emulator for Windows 2000 so I can finally go back and play ancient games that I've played before, back in the past, in the early 2000s, which is very cool. But I have a couple thinkles is what I was gonna say. I have a couple things that I want to go back and play there and see if it's actually interesting. Playing old games from 100 billion trillion years ago is fascinating to me, especially when it's something that I remember but I haven't played in like 20 damn years. So because of that, it's like I remember it being super cool or super fun or super interesting, and then it's just not. It's really awful. Play Pong for a stream? Maybe if it was cool Pong. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. He's coming to terms with his unk status. I am an uncle in real life. That is true. Actually, the weekend of the 30th. Oh shit, I can't do stuff next. No, wait. No. Yeah, because it's May. Never mind. I thought I had to leave. Play Tetris? I do like Puyo Puyo Tetris. Puyo Puyo Tetris is damn fun. I actually really like that game. I'm not great at Tetris, and I don't know a lot of the strategies that people have. Like, I don't know how to set up a T-spin. I don't know how to do like a 4 wide or any of that fancy schmancy stuff, but When it comes to just putting things together and trying to clear Tetraminos and then trying to get some sick stack of Puyo Puyo orb guys, Puyo Puyo Tetris is a lot of fun. And I love the voice acting in English in that game. It's so goofy. I also like Arle's theme. I think that's what it is. Her name's Arle? Arle? A-R-L-E? That's that good shit. Puyo Puyo. Puyo Puyo. If that doesn't get your balls rocking, I don't know what will. But yeah, I got a list of games. Plenty of games that I want to play. One of them is Rain World. Rain World's something that I've been interested in playing for forever, but I've never gotten around to it. But I think Rain World's one of those games that I think if I was streaming it, someone would show up and they would say, hey, here's how you're supposed to deal with this. And it would ruin everything. So I don't want that. If I play Rain World, I think there would be someone backseating no matter what. Because it's one of those kinds of games, right? It's like Noida. I love Noida, and I like playing Noida. But when I played it, someone would always show up and be like, did you check for the boss at the bottom left? Fuck off, you know what I mean? So I think playing it solo, I think would be better. Because then you guys can see me in real time failing constantly without someone trying to backseat me. I think that'll make it easier. Play Dead Cells? No. You broke your record for finishing a thumbnail? You finished it already? Fan, hasn't it been like 3 hours? I can show the thumbnail here on the stream. It'll be funny. Or I can let it be a surprise. I've never had a live thumbnail reveal. Jumpo, play Roblox? Yeah, I have a list of games on Roblox that I might be willing to try out. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about Roblox. Also, I'd attract a lot of Roblox players. That might be maybe not what I want, you know? Reveal it to the 20 members present. That's what I'm thinking. Just pop that shit up. For our sakes, keep that thumbnail unreleased. What if I tell you to close your eyes for 20 seconds while I show it? And then everyone can look at it. And then I'll tell you when you can open your eyes. Fan hasn't sent it to me though. So I'm just saying that. I don't have it right now. Dee Dee called my cute fucking laugh cute. What the fuck? That stuff is always so weird to me. And that's actually, how do I put this? One of the weird things about stream, fuck it. God damn it, Fan, you sent it to me? Okay, I'll have to go look at that. One of the weird things is that, for me, I feel like the most normal dude ever. And then when someone says something that's like a compliment outside of me being funny, I'm always like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You complimenting me? What? What? I will put you in the dungeon. Hell yeah, thumbnail. Man, I'm downloading that shit. I'll put it here right here, and then the thumbnail. Actually, for the sake of just the risk, I will pay you after the stream, Fan. So it'll be afterwards. You have a nice bedroom, Jumpo. Yes, I do have a nice bedroom. And the bed can fit too. You ever notice that with like VTubers? Back to like the thing where people are constantly saying like, oh, you're so cute, oh, you're so kawaii and all that stuff. I don't know how I could survive that kind of thing, bro. If I did something where I was like being a VTuber and talking and people are like, oh, you're so cute, oh, you're so, oh, I love when he does this or that. I'd like want to put a fucking knife in my stomach, you know? I'd commit honorable seppuku. It just feels weird. I don't know. I don't know how women deal with that kind of thing. Although men do it too. Some of them thrive on that shit, you know? There's some VTubers I really don't like who are like really parasocial. I won't name any names, but they do that kind of shit where everyone's constantly talking about how handsome they are and how sexy they are. And they're like, oh yeah, I know, baby. And they lean really close to their microphone and bass boost themselves so they sound like really deep-throated. And they're like, yes. Yeah, I know. Yes, you're all big fans, but there's enough of me to go around. Oh, and it's like, shut the fuck up. Have you ever seen that video? I reference this all the time, but have you ever seen that one where it's like some people are playing fucking Valorant and there's that girl going like, ha, that's a headshot, uwu. And then the guy goes, oh my God, you're adorable. And I'm like, holy shit, that is so embarrassing. That is so gross. I hate that shit. It is so awful. I cannot believe you're a fan of Pipkin Pippa. When I went to an anime convention, I bought lewds of her. I'll say that outright. I bought beautiful artwork. It's beautiful. I met Luwud? L-U-W-U-D. He's an artist that makes a bunch of VTuber art, and most of it's horny as shit. And I was like, I like Pippa, and he's selling art. Hand it over. So I got 2 posters of Pippa. And my mom found the Pippa lewds. My mom randomly came over and came into my house, and I was like, oh no, the Pippa lewds are on the table, the fucking posters. And she walked by and saw them, and I fucking collapsed. No, I can't believe this. Mom, you don't understand. She's cool. That's all. My mom thought it was funny though. She's cool. But yeah, Pippa's model's pretty nice. I do like it. Very cute rabbit design. I like Phase Connect in general. I found myself like slowly gravitating more and more to Phase Connect. I think, I don't know if they're both, I know that Mari Mari is new in Phase Connect, right? Although she's been around for a while. I like Mari Mari a lot. And then Chromu is her name? I don't know if she's in Phase Connect or not because I never checked, but I think she's pretty funny also. I also like her voice a lot. She has a weird voice that's kind of like she's yawning almost, but it's like surprisingly pleasant to listen to. And I also like that she's like fucking weird. I think that's funny. But yeah, Mari and Chromu I think are very funny also. I like them. What was I talking about? There was something else I was doing. Oh yeah, you guys, you want to watch, you want to look at the thumbnail that fan gave me? That's what we were talking about. Here, guys. Hold on, let me just, I'll move this image over here. I'll go ahead and do that so I can prove to myself I'm not showing the wrong thing. And then I go to properties, swap here, that. Okay, and then is it sized correctly? It is not. All right, snip it in. And all right, if you guys don't want to see the thumbnail and want it to be a surprise, close your eyes now. I'll give you 3 seconds because I know your eyelids, you're like double eyelids because you're a reptile. So go ahead and close your eyes. All right, I'm gonna show the thumbnail. Ta-da! Beautiful thumbnail, am I right? A classic. Now, no one say anything in chat. No one talk about it outside of how much you like fans' art and think it's cool and funny and stuff. But you're not, don't say anything out loud for the people that are closing their eyes, okay? All right, beautiful artwork. All right, now I hide it. And if you had your eyes closed, you can now look. You can now look. But yeah, that'll be going out, probably just tomorrow. I'll probably just put that out tomorrow, since fan turned it around so fast. You know, one of the reasons I don't have the next Me-Side one out is because I can't think of a thumbnail idea. And I feel like a big dummy dum-dum. I think I'll have to put it together. Oh wait, no, I'm a fucking dumbass. I just came up with an idea. Also, this bitch disconnected on me almost. Fucking laggy ass Asuka. Fan's art style is goated. It is very nice, isn't it? Don't send it in Discord, Swishy. That's something only Fan is allowed to do. If someone else posts her art without her posting her art, I will kill them. I will time you the fuck out. I'm going over. I'm looking. If anyone posted it, I'm killing them. Ah! Ah! All right, no one did it. Cool. It's not the art, Jumpo. Oh, the reference for the thumbnail? Understood, understood. Alright, cool. Well, yeah, I'll put all that stuff together. That'll be very nice. You guys will get more Me-side highlights. Those will probably be out next week. And then I have a few other things I want to put together. I still have to make highlights of the Buckshot Roulette game that I played with you guys for the whole donation thing. I just haven't gotten to it. Her art style is cartoony and cute. It's funny how you make her draw lewd stuff like 80% of the time. Hey, she's into it too. It's not just me. But yeah, I like Fan's art style a lot. I'm very happy and lucky to have found her randomly on Twitter. It works well. Now sometimes I do want Fan to draw something in particular, and she'll struggle a little bit with it. And this isn't like a major criticism or anything goofy that I'm gonna like air out. It's just like, her art style's so damn cute. It's hard when I want something to look very fucking stupid. And then she's like this, and it looks cute, and I'm like, no, like it looks good, but it's not stupid enough. I do try to skew the thumbnails so that it complements Fan's art style specifically, though. So I don't try to send her anything too crazy, too wacky, too weird. Chen Yippee afterwards? Sure, fuck it, I'll do it in that order. But I'll have to get more members to do that. Sorry. What you said to me is very funny. It's true. It's not an art skill thing, it's an art style thing. Right? Like, you wouldn't go to somebody who, like, let's say if someone makes, like, very realistic, paintings, like, portraits of people, and then you're like, hey, yeah, but draw this anime character. They probably would be able to do something similar, but it wouldn't quite be there, because it's just not the style that they normally use, and they're not practiced in it, right? That's all it is. It's like Fan, for example, has a rule against drawing buff guys, right? Buff characters. And I don't know why, because I never asked, but it's not because Fan's a bad artist, right? It's not because her art style sucks ass and it's not a buff style or anything like that. It's just, you know, she probably just hasn't drawn enough buff guys to get used to drawing buff guys. That's all there is to it. That's just how it works. Fan is anti-Araki. So true. Kukris and huge swords are peak manhood. What do you think about them, Jumpo? Kukris I've only ever seen used in the Souls games, but I don't like using them there because they're throw items and they don't bleed nearly as fast as just whacking a guy. But huge swords are cool. I will say they're cool. I don't care if they're not realistic, they are neat and they are rad and they make me smile. I think a buff version of Chen would be a good addition to like just stuff in general. I kind of want it, but I'm not gonna ask Fan for it. It would probably have to be some other meme thing. Sad Chen Wen? Oh yeah. That is an emotion that I don't have representing anything. I don't think I've added in a Chen that is sad. I haven't had a reason to. Don't make fun of me for saying rad, bro. Totally tubular. An angry Chen, that's also true. Yeah, I need to look at, so when I go to Fan for making emojis at some point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for templates that exist already, right? So someone like on VGen, for example, or other people's, what am I thinking? Other people's chats and stuff to see what they offer. Is that Hatsune Miku? I can't believe it. I'm gonna go try to see what else they offer so that I can figure out, oh, Fan, you like drawing buff bodies, but for a commission to be tougher and take more time? That makes sense. That makes sense. Ah, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I want to get like a template of like what emotions people normally like and use and stuff. Because right now I just have stuff that I pulled from thumbnails more than anything. And if I was able to look and be like, oh yeah, people usually use like, they have like a poggers, and then they have like one that's sad and one that's like excited, and then one for this and one for that. Then I give everyone like the emotions that they want to interact with the streamer using. And that would be good instead of just me like throwing out whatever I have, right? And then when I get that idea, I'll say, oh, okay, like, fan, can you put these together? Very cool. And that'll work much better because then people will be able to express themselves more directly instead of just the limited things that I have right now that I happen to like trim out from fans' other artwork. You can't say that Poggers isn't still popular. Poggers is absolutely still popular. At least on Twitch. We do not need Chen hitting a bong. 101 on YouTube thumbnails are people going, oh, Neptune. What are we doing? Hey, Rugigaku. We're just chatting about whatever. Chen Fear isn't as good as 100 Yard Scare. The base Chen head that just stares into your soul, I like. I've always liked that one. I think it's a good emotion because it just kind of... It's like you say something and then you just expectantly make direct eye contact with them as if they need to answer it. That's how I feel about that expression. You need to finish the little gif you made? Are you talking about the one where Chen turns around and smiles and sparks? I remember you made that, and then you said, I think you made that one, and then you said something like, you immediately wiped the file, so you only had a background on it, and so it wouldn't really work for me to put in as an emote. That is pretty funny. Swishy, did you ask a question, or are you talking to someone else? You can type it again. The 1,000-yard stare can be used a lot. It's my favorite. That's why I like the little Chen image. I got you, Swish. The like base Chen image of just Chen standing there is one of my favorites just in general. I love that. It's why I use Chen as my image for like everything. Where's Chen HD? Chen HD, here we go. Beautiful, and then I bring that up. And look everybody, it's Chen. And she's really fucking high quality, so I need to shrink her down. Look everybody. Walks on screen. Hello everybody, it's Chen. Walk, 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 walk. I can't believe it. Walk, 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 walk. Crazy. You know, if I didn't wake up so late today, having a fucked up face and brain, what I wanted to do for this is I wanted a different background that would be like space or something, and I wanted Chen to be floating there and just kind of like floating around, and then I would have Chen get bigger every time I talk, like she would pulse. I thought that would be funny, but I couldn't figure it out in the like 20 minutes I gave myself. I'll put you in the corner, Chen. You can stay there. Beautiful. Look at all this text everyone has. Wow. Also, Jompo, you once said in a stream you would change your character to Chen. What character would you change to after Chen? It would have to be an original character. I have somebody that I'm interested in reaching out to, but I'm trying to put together the what is it? Like the sheet of inspiration of what to do. Smash or pass on Chen? I would never smash Chen. Chen's like, that'd be like self-philia, you know what I mean? Chen is literally me. She's so kawaii. Self-cess, there we go. I don't know, when I see Chen, I think me, you know what I mean? She's literally me. Wouldn't put it past that. Wouldn't put that past you, man. Whatever, fuck you. So true though. But yeah, I think, so I found somebody. I don't know if you guys know who the artist is. who is... Sorry, I'm gonna swap real quick. Chen is like, Miku, we love it, but we know smash it. You know, I had a crush on Hatsune Miku when I was a teenager. So I don't necessarily agree with that. Miku was my waifu, bro. I wanted to smooch the shit out of her. I wanted to rail her. You kidding me? Hatsune Miku was damn cute. Same, brother. That's what I'm saying. Did she get older? Hatsune Miku's like a cartoon character. I think she's one of those eternal 16-year-olds or something. She's also like a weird robot Vocaloid. I don't know. If you're asking me about morals about anime characters, the moral is that they are all objects and I will objectify them. Yeah, Miku's been 16 for the past 20 years. You know, it's one of those unspoken things. Hey Jompa, why did your mod Unknown pay you before you pay him? He does it for free, baby. The fans are insistent she has no age. I think she's, I wouldn't agree with that because I think she was marketed as a 16-year-old specifically. And if that's the canon, that's the canon, you know? Although Miku can be anything, that is also something they market. So, you know, she can be 18 plus, baby. Ash Ketchum's always 10. I think he aged up actually. I think in the anime he's like 11 or 12 at this point. I think that's true. There's an artist named Pikat, P-I-K-A-T. I like their art a lot, and I think they are open for character design commissions. I think so. Now, I heard about them because they were on YouTube and they got their stuff recommended to me, and I think they're really cool. I like their videos a lot. And I like their art style a lot as well. And I was thinking, like, if I could reach out to them, then that would be pretty neat, and then I would have a character that they would design, and then I would have a fan reinterpret that design as like a little gremlin, you know what I mean? The idea being that, you know, Chen, little B-Cub Chen down here at the bottom doesn't actually look like that. The original Chen, let's see if I can grab an image. It should be easy enough. Let's add another image. Sorry I'm so slow at this shit. I actually don't mess around with OBS too much, so I always get a little bit confused when I'm trying to add something in. Where's the image? There's the image. Okay, so I want image 3. I want to move that down to here. And then there should be a picture of Chen that is titled something. Let's see if I can find her. Let's see, Chen. Can I just click and drag into OBS? I actually don't know if that's true. Come on, fucking game, work with me. Load, bitch, load! Is it Chen Vector? Is that the one that it is? Yeah, it's Chen Vector. Can I click and drag this in? Is it that easy? It is that easy. Oh shit, I'm a dumbass. I was doing it through all this other stuff. All right, well, here's Chen Vector. So as you can see, there's a bit of a difference. There's a little bit of a difference between the base Chen and then the B-Cub Chen that I use, right? I really didn't know I could click and drag that shit in. Two tails? Indeed, two tails. What's a Chen vector? So a vector image just means that it is something that has no background. So you can see that, like, Chen is there. She is a little girl child. Yokai, and then there is the goofy little gremlin black and white Chen at the bottom right that B-Cub made as a reinterpretation of Chen for his goofy little fan comics that he was making. And so with that, I was thinking, okay, what if I do the same thing, right? What if I have a character made that is an actual, like, completely designed adult character that has, like, a bunch of detail and stuff, and then afterwards, I have fan reinterpret the character as like the little gremlin version, like the version of Chen that we have right now. I think that makes sense. I think that would be a cool way of doing it. So I reach out, get that character made, and that would be like the quote unquote real version, I guess. And then there would be the quote unquote gremlin version. And then we'd have the gremlin. Because not only this, but also the, you know, Neko arc, right, is another character that is a little gremlin cat but Neko Arc is the gremlin version of Arcuid from Melty Blood and Tsukihime. And so I thought that makes sense. That would be kind of a cool thing. We have the like quote unquote serious version that exists in a certain way, and then we have the gremlin version that exists in a certain way. You know, so I thought that would be a fun idea, and I think it would be fun to commission somebody who has like professional experience putting a character together, because I'm just interested in how it works. And then I don't want to abandon Fan or anything, so Fan would create the second character, the smaller version afterwards, and like simplify the character, make her a little goblin, all that kind of stuff. How do you feel about having a small fan base? I think it's pretty cool to have little people on stream to talk to. There's a good and a bad to it. The good thing is that it is easy to talk to people specifically, and also it makes it really easy to recognize names. Like anytime Viscous Snake or Swishy or Rugigaku or Zayam shows up, or YYTDER Bad Like Always, which I don't know how to say the beginning part if you want me to read it out, or each letter or whatever. But I recognize these names. It makes it easy to recognize these names, right? And so because of that, for me, I feel a bit more comfortable. I can see somebody say something, I go, oh, I know that chatter. I recognize that chatter, right? I'm sorry to say Viscous Snake, but I was going down the list of the chat right now that's showing. But it makes it easy. I like that base of being able to recognize everybody. If I, like, let's say I started out and for some reason, somehow I made one video and then everyone watched me right at the same time, I think it would be harder to figure out how to react to that. So I think the growth from smaller to larger is an overall healthier way of doing it. That being said, the end goal is always to have a bigger chat, right? To have more people watching. So that you can hopefully someday turn it into a real job instead of something I make, you know, $100 off of every 2 months. So that's the give and take though, right? Because if I did do that and then there were only people that, like, if there were 1 billion people talking, I find that it gets really difficult to, it's really difficult to get like a good response back sometimes, because now you have to look for a good response that you're reading from somebody, maybe recognize their name, probably not, and it's in just a swarm of like pog spam and people saying lol and things like that, like the minor reactions. That's actually one of the reasons why I really like YouTube specifically. YouTube culture versus Twitch culture is different in terms of how people interact with each other. And so because of that, Twitch has a ton of spam. I don't like Twitch chat very much because it's just spam. If something happens, you react. And it's cool because it's engagement, but at the same time, it's not engagement that has a lot of like people typing anything of value, really. Like if you do something cool, it's cool to see like everyone freaking out in chat. You see 1 million messages per second. But if you're trying to say something and have a conversation, you're also still getting 1 million emotes per second and you can't do anything. On the flip side, on YouTube, people are more interested in typing things out and way less interested in like spamming things. You feel me? So because of that, I can read all this, but I don't see 1 million people typing things. And even if you go to like, you know, Gargura died in a car accident, but if you go back to like her stuff and you watch her stream, even when people are spamming, a lot of them are typing sentences instead of spamming like a specific lol or something. And people were typing all the time when she was doing stuff. So it's one of those interesting things. I like YouTube's culture better, even though YouTube's kind of goofy, but I'm not a big fan of Twitch. Jumpo's saying that like he got viewers on Twitch. I don't even have a Twitch account, I think. I forget if I made a Jumpo account. I think I made it to secure the name, and then I never used it. Normally when there are more people, the only one you can talk to are the donators, and people that don't have money, like me, can't talk to you. Yeah, or it becomes a members only stream or something along those lines. I think YouTube can gift memberships, but it's also a bit like, you know, gifting memberships to specific people can be a bit unfair. You think Goofy, what makes it special? Sorry, what are you referring to? Unless you're talking to Swishy still. I can imagine Jumbo getting a large audience a la a big titty VTuber. No, Archfiles, I didn't forget to gift you a membership. I changed my mind and you're not getting it anymore. You'll have to pay like everybody else. Unless someone else gifts you one. The YouTube culture. Oh yeah, the YouTube culture I like more because, how do I put this? Due to the fact that Twitch started out sort of as YouTube already existed, there was this sort of idea of, I think I can get big using it. And so there's this sort of like immature grind culture of Twitch. You'll see that kind of thing in like, hold on, let me move Chen over here. This Chen can stand over, of a little Chen. There you go. Right here in the corner. So Twitch is more immature, I think. YouTube has a bunch of immature stuff, but it's immature because it's a younger website in general. But due to that, what I find is most of the people that are really, really popular focus very heavily on doing quote unquote anything for content or anything for views. Same kind of thing happens with TikTok, right? TikTok's often like really extremely in your face about things, and Twitch is very similar. People will talk about drama they have nothing to do with, and they're doing it because it's maintaining the viewers. They will play games they're not interested in because it maintains the viewers. They will steal content and react to it because it maintains the viewers. That kind of a thing. And that's how they make their money. But for YouTubers, I think the fact that it came before Twitch and didn't have that sort of greed focus was that YouTube had a lot of people that built up an audience through their own grassroots creativity, right? Like Ryan Higa or Fred or Smosh or whatever, you know, say what you want about any of them, but they did it in a way where it was just, I want to make cool things, and the following I'm getting is neat and just lets me make more cool things. Now, obviously, I'm not saying YouTube's perfect, but I would say that a good amount of the big YouTubers that you might see with like several tens of thousands of subscribers, maybe 100,000 subscribers, maybe several 100,000 subscribers, many of them are more focused on making content they like for fun, as opposed to making content that will make a bunch of money. YouTube obviously has money people, as fucking Mr. Beast, but at the same time, it's way better. I personally think that it's easier to find people that are more pleasant to interact with and watch. I see that. If you do videos for what you love, better than being a YouTuber persona, because I mostly watch wood making videos because they put heart into it. Yeah, right? Twitch is, it's not that Twitch is devoid of that, but I do find that if I was going to go through all of the big streamers on Twitch, I think I would say I dislike the majority of them because they're constantly trying to fish for like reactions, or they're like milking a specific joke, or they're leaning into memes. They're doing things so that people will watch them, right? They're trying to do things like as if they're marketing at the same time they're talking. But if you flip over to YouTube and go through like the big individual YouTubers, you'll have people like PewDiePie or Markiplier or Jacksepticeye, who I think at this point are pretty much just themselves and still fake reactions and stuff, but I feel like they're a lot more genuine in how they go about it. If they're not interested in something, they're probably just not gonna do it. They're not gonna start saying a meme because it's popular. They're not gonna hop on a bunch of bandwagon trends all the time. There's something a little more personal about it that I like more. It's not the best. It's definitely not the best ever. You know, I'm not saying they're perfect, but it's a preferable, I think. So that's why I prefer YouTube. And I've been going on YouTube since 2000, like fucking 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever. Like, I think I started using a YouTube a year after YouTube started existing. I've been on this website forever. What do you feel about one-shotting bosses in games? I've always thought it was boring. Unless it was like a joke. In Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 2, you can run up and punch a boss, Mysterio, in the face, and he loses 3 bars of health instantly and dies. But any of the min-maxy stuff to like one-shot a boss, I've never been a huge fan of. Although I do like seeing big numbers when I hurt something. One-shotting seems a bit dull. I don't like the min-max stuff. How long will this song go on? Oh yeah, I think I just looped it forever. Sorry, Viscous Snake, you're dealing with this forever. Is the gameplay in the background recording? This is like me playing Tekken a year ago. In fact, you guys want to see how much more footage there is of it? Ah, it looped completely. I was wondering why I was back in red rank. We've gotten all the way through it, baby. Heading out, Swish? Thank you for stopping by. Have a good one. I was considering dual streaming to Twitch at some point, but I sort of lean towards not doing that anymore. I don't think it's actually all that interesting. The more I thought about it, the more I was like, I don't really want to mix the two. I think it's fine just staying on YouTube. You guys didn't realize I wasn't playing this? Guys, I was putting up like images and stuff in the corner and and like Googling things while fights were going on. Crazy. Maybe I have like a manager. You thought I was just freehanding the game? Damn, if I was that good, I wouldn't be losing to this law. Jumpo's a Lily main? Correct, I am a Lily main. What do you mean I'm stealing some YouTubers' content? Look at the top left, it says my name. My name is on it. I can't believe this. You know, one thing that I can't figure out, I don't know how to like, I don't know how to find somebody to stream with, you know? I think it would be interesting to have somebody and like do a stream where I'm talking to someone else, but I don't know how to, I don't know how to find that. You know, sometimes collaborations can be like super hype, you know, two YouTubers start talking to each other and they share the like super good sense of humor. Stream with unknown? Nah, you don't get it. You don't get it. He's not streamer minded is what I'm gonna have to say. I've played games with Unknown though. I played Repo with him and with Nono. And they're cool, don't get me wrong, but when you're streaming, there's an energy you have to have at all times. Otherwise, you're going to become a boring bitch. Jumpo's a social recluse. None of my friends are interested in streaming. All of my friends are cringe and lame, so they don't do that kind of shit. Damn, close that out. I'm so damn good at fucking Tekken, god damn. You wanna play It Takes Two with your girlfriend's husband? Yeah, my wife's boyfriend's husband. Irony, perhaps? Maybe a little bit. I wouldn't mind, I don't know. There are things I want to do for YouTube. I probably just need to get a little more invested in like YouTube groups, but have you like, maybe I'm just thinking a bit too hard about it, but I'm always a bit worried about small YouTubers, like ones that are trying real hard to be up and coming. Because if you guys have ever paid attention to the VTuber community, let me tell you, those motherfuckers are vicious. Like the small VTubers that are trying to like claw their way up into like relevancy are like disgusting a lot of the time. Cinder alert. Yeah, pretty much. There are a lot of them that try to like, they'll use you for content and then try to tear you down. And that kind of stuff happens in a lot of groups where they're trying, like people are trying to get better. And then if someone starts doing better than others, they start getting jealous, they start getting mad, they start like, they don't want to talk to them, or they start making shit up behind their back or telling other people not to stream with them. There's always that kind of shit. And like, you know, I don't want to deal with that. I want to stream with someone, but I don't want to deal with that. Now, there is an idea that I've been passing in and out of my brain constantly, which is after I make the new character design. I hate how some VTubers are just big boobies and nothing else. Speaking of character design, yeah, I've never been a big fan of the heavy, like, titty bait kind of stuff that some streamers do. I just don't like it. I think it's a bit iffy. I didn't like it when people did it in real life. YouTube had a major problem with that a billion years ago with reply girls, if you've ever heard about that. But that kind of stuff of like shallow content, big titties, shallow content, deep pussy, that kind of a thing, that never really been my thing. And over-sexualized VTuber avatars sort of put me in a position where I assume that they're probably not going to have a great personality. Plus, a lot of the time, they do just kind of look goofy. I like it when they wear a good amount of clothes. Jumpa with the peck pillows. And well, they're there, I guess. I was considering at some point after I get the new character design made, whenever I do that with whoever does that, and then I get fans' version of it made, I think it could be interesting to become a VTuber. I've been considering it a lot. I'm just not sure if it's something that I would want to do. I think it could be interesting to have a little me in the bottom corner. You know, it would probably help for views and content and stuff, I guess, but I don't know how much it would take away or add necessarily. It could be fun. The only VTuber I'd actually watch is Chibidoki. I like Chibidoki a lot. I think she's really funny. I can't believe I got hit by that, bro. But if I ended up becoming like a, if I ended up becoming a VTuber, the real question is whether I would be the goblin version or whether I'd be the normal version. But I've considered it. I don't have an interest in being a part of VTuber culture at all, honestly. I have no interest in becoming a VTuber that talks about being a VTuber and shit. But I think being a VTuber itself could be fun. Jumpo's not a tits guy, he loves ass. I love both, my friend. Titties are great. Ass is great. I do think that if you have big boobs or small boobs, both are fine. But a small ass is like unacceptable. I think it like ruins the aesthetic of the human being if they have a small ass, you know? Man or woman. Like no guy should have a fucking Hank Hill ass, in my opinion. I think you need to do some goddamn squats. maybe some hip hinges, maybe even glute bridges if you really need to. Phew, I'm caked as fuck. Yeah, me too, baby. If I ever get a MeUndies sponsorship, I'll show you my ass. Yeah, but I don't know, being a VTuber could be cool, but I would be worried if people started being like, oh, you're in the VTuber culture? Nah, bitch, I'm not. I just did this because I think they're cool. I just think it's neat, bro. VTubers used to be more along those lines. I think because Hololive got so popular, it ended up swaying how people perceive VTubers in general. And then VShojo did something a bit similar as well. Like they became very popular in like English speaking communities. And so because of that, there's a general idea of what being a VTuber is, as opposed to it just being, I have a, you know, I'm a streamer with an avatar. I much prefer it as I am a streamer with an avatar. Will the characters stay white and black or more colorful? Honestly, I would prefer the character to be black and white. This grayscale look, I think, is fun. Yeah, I think colors will ruin the vibe as well. Is there a VTuber you actually watch? I watch clips of VTubers more than I watch a VTuber, like, often. I like Dokibird, I like Giga, and I like Chibidoki. I think those are the ones that I most regularly see clips of. Although I do like Pippa Pipkin, I do like Chromu, and Mari Mari. Chromu and Mari Mari are two that I found just recently, though. You think I should edit my streams more often? Yeah, I know. I think I should too. Streaming is slow going sometimes. You watch Doki in Tekken 8 Sajam tournament? If you've ever seen her play a first-person shooter, I think that's where she shines. Because she's very natural when she's doing that stuff. Because she plays shooters all the time, that's like her shtick. I used to watch her when she was Selene in Niji Sanji, and she was playing Apex Legends all the time. I watched her like all the time when she was doing that. But yeah, I think as a first-person shooter player, I think that's, if you want to see if she's really good, you would watch her then. I think that's how you would really get the like, oh, Chibidoki is a good streamer for me. That one British VTuber is good. You're gonna have to tell me who you're talking about. The only British VTuber I know is K9 Kuro, who is also from Niji Sanji. He used to be Mysterious. Mari is definitely an interesting person. She's definitely the most autistic person I've seen in the VTubing space. Have you heard of Shondo? She's pretty autistic. She's like one step away from being a complete Fujoshi freak. But honestly, that's the appeal. Rin Penrose? I think Rin Penrose is pretty decent, but she also... She's she, right? I think she's she. Yeah, anyway, I think she did a good job of doing stuff, but I think she calmed down like what she was making, and I stopped seeing her recommended like ever. Autistic dangerous or autistic affectionate? I don't know if I've ever used autistic as an insult. Well, no, maybe in the past I have, but I think when I say autistic, I mean it as like the colloquial, you know, internet nerd, big fan of things that are uncommon kind of autism. Everyone that peeps VTubers are on the spectrum. I didn't say that, but it's not wrong. I just don't know if you can say such a thing. How much time have you and Fan been working together, Jompo? That's a decent question. It was back when I asked Fan for the first thumbnail, which would be, if I check over here, that was when I put out my first highlights on this stream. So back when I made the Ultra Kill highlights, when I didn't even know how to split audio. So that would have been October 10th, 2023. Holy fuck, it's been a year and a half. You know what? I'm not very happy that you made me look at that. Oh, geez. It's been a while, huh? And here I am hard capped at 27,000 subscribers. Fan's a true OG? Yeah, I paid her to be one. But yeah, I think being a VTuber at some point could be interesting. I'll probably end up doing it. One of my friends is like, don't do it or I'll kill myself. And I'm like, eh, well, it's my life. I'll probably end up doing it. But I do need that design first. I need to finally get around to doing that. But that's all work I need to keep doing. I need to catch up a little bit on real life work and get some stuff done. And then I need to get some stuff to Fan, which I'll be doing after this stream, I think. And if Fan's hearing me do that, she's probably paying no attention because I never stick to my deadline. Jumpa, what new games are you waiting for? I don't know. Honestly, there's not a lot that I've been sitting around and being like, oh man, I can't wait to play this. In fact, I'm not even super aware of all the games that are coming out. And a lot of the big games people talk about are not ones that I'm personally a huge fan of. Will we play Subnautica 2? Maybe. Maybe. VTuber Chen? It wouldn't be Chen. It would have to be a new character. There are too many people, like you guys know because I say it all the time, but there are too many people who pop in and say, I love your little character. What is she? I'm like, it's not mine. You know? I just don't want to keep stealing the character, essentially. It's fine and stuff. I know that it's pretty normal to use a character from something and use it to represent you, but with how I edit my videos and stuff and how I present myself, I think it would be better if I move to my own original character. Jumpo, do you know Fillion? I don't think Fillion is very funny, so I don't watch her. Maybe this is a bit rude to say about someone directly, but I think Fillion does that thing where her content is basically setting herself up very obviously for somebody to make fun of her. or for her own failure, and then the instant it happens, she screams into her microphone, and that's pretty much everything that I've seen of her. So I'm just not a big fan. Like, I don't think it's very witty when you say something that's obviously set up for someone to punch you, like just sucker punch you with the joke. I'm just not into it. I think it's a bit too obvious. She's entertaining in collabs? That's probably better. That would probably work better. Because then she can't like force it quite as much, but she probably would also blow my ears out. I don't mind some screaming, but I do think it has to be measured, you know? I imagine you'd like Expedition 33. That's true, I have heard good things about it. And the main character, I saw my friend playing it. He was streaming it to me on Discord. The main character looks like Robert Pattinson. Why'd you start streaming, Jompo? And also, if you could collab on the future, who would it be with? Why I started streaming was because I thought it would be fun. It's pretty much just that I thought it would be fun. There was a time in my life, not to get too sad or anything, but I was really bummed out and had no hobbies and wanted to die. So, what I ended up doing was I started looking into different hobbies that I could get into. And so I started picking up a couple of different ones. And one of them I thought would be fun would be trying to do YouTube stuff. And so that's why I started streaming and started my YouTube channel and everything like that. So it was just a hobby that I wanted to try out. I thought it would be interesting. I thought playing video games for a living could be fun if I ever got to that point. Thought it could work because my humor was, you know, crafted by the internet. So that's pretty much that. It's nothing too crazy. I just wanted to try out a new hobby. But then, who would I collab with in the future? That I don't know, and I would never say. I know I don't have many people in my chat right now or anything. I don't have a huge number of fans, but I do feel like saying I want to collaborate with this person would put undue pressure on them. And I wouldn't want anybody going over and trying to be like, hey, you should collaborate with this guy. He's interesting on my behalf. So I wouldn't want to say that. What are your games for Game of the Year? No fucking idea, dude. I pay so little attention to the passage of time and what games I'm playing that just came out. I know that's not like a cool answer or anything, but it is my answer. You just bluntly say you needed bread, but I didn't need bread. YouTube has not made me much money. Over the 2 years or so that I've been doing YouTube stuff, I think I've made a collective about $2,000. Maybe a little more. Now, I don't know about you guys, but while $2,000 is cool to have, it's definitely not nothing. It's a good amount of money. It's it's not exactly 2 years worth of rent. You know, that's 1 month of rent where I live. Collabing sounds uninteresting. Collabing can work. It can work, but I think the important thing about a collaboration isn't just that you are streaming with somebody else. It is that you're with somebody who has a similar sense of humor or a similar streaming style, if we're talking generally, that is able to complement what you're doing, right? So for example, let's see, who'd be a good example? So since I was talking about VTubers before, Doki Bird is a VTuber I like, and she has a very like aggressive kind of sense of humor where she makes fun of a lot of people and things like that. She is not tough or mean necessarily, but she'll throw a lot of shade because she thinks it's funny. And so what you would need in a situation like that is someone like Mint Fantome, who does a really good job streaming with her, because she plays off of that and throws it back in her face. And because of that, the humor ends up being different from when they're both solo, but when they're together, it becomes a unique sort of sense of humor that only really works well because they're together, right? They play off of each other in a way that makes their banter fun to listen to. That kind of thing is cool. But it's hard to find someone like that, right? Normally you would do that if you met someone in real life and became friends with them, but I don't have anyone like that, so I'd have to find someone somehow. The Coffin of Andy and Layla is your top 5. Is it actually that good? Everyone always just said that it was the incest game, so I never played it. It didn't sound very interesting. What's your favorite cat race, Jompo? Me personally, I just like house cats. I think they're neat. House cats are cool. There are a bunch of them that just kind of live in the neighborhood that my parents live in, and so anytime I go over to see my parents, I just hang out with the cats a bit and pet them. The story's actually that good. Is that true? That sounds so made up and not real to say that the incest game has a good story. But who knows, maybe it is good. We must feed the Jompo. On an unrelated note, what do you think of Vor? I think it's weird and I think it's funny. Mostly funny. I've seen a lot of Vor pictures and they always make me giggle a little bit. Because poisonally, it's just such a weird non sequitur. I don't understand how someone's like, oh yeah, that really gets me going, bro, swallow me whole. That's so goofy. But at the same time, I can't help but think about how goofy it is when I see it, so I joke about it sometimes. Heck, never mind. But Vor is funny. It's more of a furry thing. Vor isn't necessarily a furry thing. It's just that the furry community commissions a lot of different fetish art. I've seen plenty of Vor that has nothing to do with being a furry. I mean, fuck, try being a fan of Splatoon, bro. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with the Splatoon community, but they have some of the weirdest goddamn fetishes I've ever seen in my entire life. It is hard to find normal Splatoon art, I swear to fucking God. Splatoon fans got some kind of mental disease. And I'm saying that as a Splatoon fan. I love those games, but I don't know what the hell is going on with everybody. You say tentacle job like that's the weird shit. You know how much weird inflation, Vor, like eating shit kind of stuff I've seen out of the Splatoon community? Too much. It's too much. And I don't know why. It is, out of everything, I've never seen a community so obsessed with the weirdo shit. I just don't comprehend it. It's so bizarre for them. I haven't seen another community that does it. Like, obviously there's like, hey, the Sonic community has a lot of weird fetish art, but they have a lot of weird art in general and a ton of art in general. But I feel like Splatoon skews the percentage where it starts to become like concerning. Like you're gonna raise a goddamn eyebrow about it. Yeah, it's bizarre. But it is funny. It is funny. I would never trust a Splatoon fan. Ignore the fact that I love Splatoon and think it's a cool game. And I think Fan's also a fan of Splatoon. But don't trust those motherfuckers, they're crazy. Splatoon's music in particular is really neat. Personally, I find it very fun to listen to Splatoon's weirdo music that they have. In fact, it's to the extent that I don't have the time for it, so I'm not doing it. But at some point, I want to look into like making music with some kind of, you know, DAW or something, you know, Fruity Loops or whatever. But if I was gonna do it, I think Splatoon would be one of my inspirations for how to put music together. I think it's interesting to listen to it, and I like the sounds they have. I like how weird it is. I like how off tempo some of the stuff is. I don't know, it's creative and interesting. I thought Splatoon was a cool game, didn't know the community was like this. If you played online a lot, that's a bit surprising. Cause remember, Splatoon has that thing where like you can walk around the, like the town and see all of these Splatoon characters, like, oh my fucking God, I lagged like hell, god damn. Yowza, that was pretty bad. I saw a, what was I saying? No, yeah, Splatoon has that thing where you can like go into like the Miiverse and see the people's posts and drawings and stuff. Although it's not the Miiverse anymore or whatever it was. It's just their own built-in thing. Yeah, and if you played Splatoon a lot, the weird conversations and the people trying to push for social issues for some reason constantly, and people trying to show off what good people they were by talking about the social issues, and people rambling about politics, that kind of shit was all over Splatoon. Like, all the fucking time. I don't even know what the hell's wrong with those people, but I knew that community had a problem for a long ass time. Yeah, Splatoon's always been a community I don't want to have any part in, but I do like the game. What kind of community would you rather be in? That's actually a decent question. If I was thinking of, like, I've always liked the communities that are, like, if I had a streamer community, right? People that were built up around me or something, I would like people who have a sense of humor that can joke along with what I joke about. That's pretty much it. But also people who aren't fucking annoying, because a lot of people can be bastards, so long as you rip those people out of the community at the right time, then I think things will work out just fine. But really, I've always just liked communities that have a sense of humor. They're willing to joke about things. The My Dad Beats Me Splatoon posts were funny. I thought those were funny. It was all over the place. My dad beats me, sad face. I'm no stranger to that kind of humor. I think it's funny. Bro just wants friends. So true. You played Splatoon 1 a decade ago without online? Yeah, that's fair. Personally, the online for Splatoon was never really why I played it, which I think is goofy because it was a major online video game. But personally, I was a big fan of the story mode that I thought was a lot of fun. And then after Splatoon 2 came out, I was actually more of a fan of the co-op mode, Salmon Run. I think Salmon Run is fun. Personally, I wasn't a huge fan of Turf Wars or the like competitive ranked versions or anything like that. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Sorry, I'm drinking water. Yum yum. Oh, so tasty. Yummy yummy in my tummy. A little more water, please. Yes, don't mind if I do. Would you like to have any other hobbies than YouTube? I have only one hobby that I'm interested in that I haven't started doing anything with, and then I have other hobbies that aren't YouTube. Well, actually, no, there are two hobbies, I guess, that I haven't really started in. So I lift weights, I do bodybuilding stuff because it's fun, I like it, I think it makes me look better. So lifting weights is a lot of fun, that's my major hobby, I've been doing that forever. And then my other hobby, I don't ever talk about it because I'm not a professional or anything, but I took singing lessons for 2 years, and so I know how to sing, but I don't do any of that, really. For me, it was just a fun little hobby to do off to the side. I never really had any grander goals or anything for, like, making songs. Because I wasn't really, you know, I didn't really have any interest in cover songs, I didn't have an interest in writing songs, or any of that. It's just that, you know, singing was fun, so it was a fun little thing to do. Show us your pecs? No, never. Maybe someday I'll do a physique reveal, but not while I'm bulking, bro. That's why your bada bing sounds cool. In what world does bada bing sound cool? That's crazy. When you say singing, you mean like having a large vocal range. I mean singing, like being able to sing, right? If you wanted to sing a song, being able to hit the notes correctly, hold the notes correctly, knowing proper singing form, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, like singing a song. My vocal range is something like around 2 octaves, like assuming I'm not going in a falsetto. But all the songs I like have higher pitches than I do because I like punk rock and things like that. Bulking's hard. For me, it's easy. I don't know about you, but the way that bulking works for like bodybuilding stuff is more along the lines of get to like a body fat percentage of around like 20%, and then just hang on to that percentage, and you will gain muscle. You won't be overweight, so there's no health issues that come along with being at that weight. And then just, if you gain more muscle and you realize, oh wait, my body fat percentage has lowered to like 16% because, you know, I'm gaining more muscle and not fat, then you can eat a little more, get yourself back to 20%, and then keep the gains coming. So that's what I do. I do the Pulma Burk. Fuck, I said it wrong. I do a perma bulk, which means that I don't have an interest in cutting until I reach a certain goal. So I've never actually like cut down in weight to be like a nice bodybuilder that's real thin and cool and like my abs are showing like crazy. I haven't ever done that. So I don't know what I look like cut down like that. I'm 6'2" and I weigh 220 pounds. And my goal is just to keep lifting weights until I can move a certain amount of weight for my lifts. And then once I'm able to do that, then I'll do more stuff. I'll finally cut down and see what I look like. What's your bench press PB? I don't do I don't do barbell bench. I did 235 pounds a couple years ago. Hold on. And even then, I do, sorry, I'm opening up my Excel spreadsheet to look. Let's see, load up my spreadsheet. I want to look at my routine. If I go up to my bench, so what I do is I do a dumbbell press. So I do a flat dumbbell bench press. And the way I do it is reverse grip because it otherwise would hurt my fucking shoulders. And so the best that I have done so far is 70 pounds in each hand for 11 reps. That's my personal best for a dumbbell bench. So that's that. Frankly, I don't know how impressive that is. I think it's pretty good. It's not the 100s that I want to be lifting, that's for sure. Or the blessed 120s that would absolutely crush my, crush all of my lack of confidence away, and I would finally be truly happy. That isn't too shabby, buddy. No, it's pretty good. Generally speaking, my lifts are roughly in like the upper intermediate area, except for my fucking quads because I had a knee injury a million years ago that held me back. But I'm working that back up. You know, it's catching up slowly. Jumbo, would you like to make more content on other platforms? Not really. The more I think about it, the less I want to do TikTok or Twitch. I'll probably just stick to YouTube. Then when we were talking about hobbies, the other, so I said that hobby, there's, obviously I play games and stuff. I have my YouTube channel. The two hobbies that I would be interested in more than anything would be, I want to learn how to draw. I think that would be really cool. And I think making music would be cool as well. Oh my God, I clutched that out. So good. I would say, yeah, drawing is probably the thing that I'm most interested in, but I'm dog shit at, like, innately. It's very demotivating. Like, let me show you, I'll show you guys the best drawing that I think I've done in a long time. Because when I send something over to, Fan and say, hey Fan, I want you to draw this, sometimes I'll take that as like my time to practice art, and I'll try a little harder than I normally would to try and put something together to tell Fan about it. But also sometimes I'll just, you know, I always sketch something. I put it together to say, here's what I want. I want this to be what is made into the thumbnail. So Fan just takes my idea and then makes her good art over my mediocre art, right? So let me see if I can find the image real quick. So if I go over here and I go to, which image is this? Okay, cool. So if I go to the properties and then I go here, let's go into, which one should I use? I have a me side one. Yeah, let's do a me side one. So if I go into the folder over here, where the fuck do I store things? No, wait, no, wrong folder. Okay, no wonder I couldn't find it. Let's see. Where the fuck are you? My alphabet, I know it! And then I gotta scroll through a million goddamn pictures I use. Here is, for example, right? Fan has the one of, if you guys have seen it, the thumbnail of like Chen reaching over a sleeping Mita, right? So if I look at that and I drag it in, which I'm just gonna, fucking goddamn it. I don't know why I keep going through like the shitty, annoying image version that I don't need to do. Oh, Windows, open the fucking folder. Where'd my mouse go? Where the fuck is my mouse? Why can't I see it? Is it because I... Oh, fuck, that was really weird. Sorry, I was having an emotional glitch. For example, here's Fan's sketch of a hug. All right. Ta-da! See this? This was me pointing out certain things. That was Fan's sketch that I sketched over to say, here are some things I'd like adjusted here and there, right? But it comes out real nice, right? That's nice and pretty. Right? Beautiful fan artwork. And that was based off of my original sketch, which was this. Beautiful, right? I want you to choke Chen. I want Mita to choke Chen and glare at the viewer with a hug. You see? Fun. Right? So that kind of thing is neat. I have a lot of those where it's my sketch versus like Fan's finalized version. And obviously she has the final ones that are everywhere. So here's one that I did and I thought looked pretty all right. For somebody who doesn't know how to draw, pretty all right. So we all know that, where the fuck is it? So you know the one where like cool Mita, Cappy, is like reaching out and like patting Chen on the forehead? Here's the one that I had. This was my art that I sent to Fan. I said I wanted this, but cute and in your art style. And personally, I thought it came out pretty all right. It's not good. You know, I'm not gonna be winning any awards. No one's gonna follow me on Twitter about that kind of shit. But I thought it came out pretty all right. Like, I was like, you know what? It looks like a human being. It's not ugly. You know, Chen's head is too long, but that's not bad. So it all worked out pretty well. I thought it came out pretty good. So I was happy with that. But that's like probably the best thing I've drawn, right? So from there, right, getting to a point where I'm like really happy with what I draw, I don't think I'm there yet. And that's sort of the issue, you know, that whole looking at your art and saying, this sucks, how do I make it good? I have a picture of a chimp saved on here. See that? Pretty cool. 14-year-old DeviantArt core? Yeah, pretty much, that's how it feels. Yeah, it's just practice, but it's hard practice, right? Because I have no talent for it, which means it has to come from just all studying, all practice, all that. Unlike something like video editing, for example, is something that a lot of people are really bad at and don't know how to do very well. But for me, innately, I kind of just understand how it works. Maybe that's because I have experience with other applications. Maybe that's for some other reason. But I found that it comes to me very naturally. But and for singing even, I found that it came very naturally. It was a pretty simple thing to do. Not well necessarily, but it was easy to pick up on the basics and start learning quickly. I was a relatively fast learner. For art, I don't think I'm very fast. I think I'm a very slow learner. So obviously I would prefer it to be better, but here we're gonna have MatPat in the corner. I'll move it down here. There you go. You guys can have MatPat. I've been practicing every day because my friend has been motivating me. Yeah, I think if I had... So for some of the things I want to learn, I think it would really help to have a friend that I worked with. When I first started lifting, I had a friend that I worked with, and we were gym buddies together. So we would always go to the gym together and spot each other. And because of that, if I didn't want to go, well, I can't disappoint my friend, right? And not show up. He needs a spot. It's bench day. And vice versa. So we always like watched out for each other that way, but it really got us into it because then we had stuff to talk about. We could talk about, oh man, I finally did this, and I can actually, you know, I can see my triceps. My arm's just not, it's not just a noodle anymore, and that was really neat, right? We could see each other grow and improve, and then, you know, maybe my lifts were better on my push exercises, but maybe he pulled better, so he was better at doing pull-ups or better at rowing, and I'm like, fuck, what do I do? You know, how do I catch up? And so there was like a friendly rivalry. All that kind of stuff is really fun. I like that kind of thing. But I don't have friends that do streaming. I don't have friends that sing. I don't have friends that... I have one friend that does art, but we don't do art together very often. If you could, what would you draw? I have ideas in my head, so let's get MatPat to go over here. He can think over here, but let's not block Chen. He just wants to think about Chen. Yeah, there we go. So if I could draw anything, I have comic ideas that I think would be fun. One of them's an isekai. I thought of an isekai specifically because I hate isekai, and I was thinking, well, surely it's not that hard to write a good one. So I came up with an idea, and I think I like it a lot, and I want to see what I can do with it, but I can't draw, so I can't do anything with it. Obviously, I could hire an artist and do the story stuff myself, but this is something that I want. That's something that I would want to do. I would want to learn how to draw my way, and then put it in. And I want to do, like, really cool dynamic type stuff. For me, the dynamic stuff is neat. Like, you know that picture of Sonic the Hedgehog, where he's, like, in Sonic Adventure, he's doing like the spin and he's like pointing at the camera and everything, and he's like in a circle. How do I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like the Sonic the Hedgehog picture. Let me see, Sonic Hedgehog. Surely I can find it like super easy, right? Let's put in the word pose, that probably works. Sonic Hedgehog pose, there it is. There it is. So if I save this image, put that in the... It's a fucking WebP. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I can't just slide it. Oh, I can. Okay, it does work. So this pose that Sonic does is like the coolest fucking thing ever, isn't it? Isn't this like the coolest fucking most dynamic pose you've ever seen in the world? Like, I don't want to draw Sonic the Hedgehog because I'm not a big fan of the games or anything. But the type of like dynamic, like just look at the goddamn flow. God damn, it's so good. And like the foreshortening on his hands and like the sick pose, and it's still clear and readable. There's a flow to it with how everything's curving. It's so damn cool. I love this picture, right? I want to draw things that scream cool like that. I think if I could do that, that would be awesome. Now, I don't want to draw Sonic, like I said. I want to draw other things. I want to draw people beating the shit out of each other in different cool ways. But I want it to be rad. I want it to be awesome. I want people to look at it and think, that's fucking cool. And I want the story to be good as well, but you know. Jumpo, you better like mangoes or I'll tickle your feet tonight. I don't like eating mangoes, but I like mango flavor. So if I had like mango juice, that shit's good. Jump and cool in the same sentence. It do be a word I use a lot. But yeah, I think that would be fun. And then of course making music would be cool, but I think making music is less, I would be less interested in making music as like an end goal. But at the same time, I think I'd have an easier time of it because it would be doing stuff in a software that doesn't require me to draw. You know what I mean? Yeah, you Clover, one of the things that you can think about, right, is all of the time that you've spent not drawing or not doing whatever you're trying to do, in the time that it's taken for you to finally get to the point where you're like, I'm inspired enough to do it. If you had just started even when you were doubting yourself before, you would be leagues ahead of where you are now, right? Like if I stuck with drawing when I first took the interest, when I was first interested in drawing and I first wanted to try it out and I first started like sketching things on a shitty drawing tablet that I found and using pen and paper and stuff. That was 10 years ago that I first took up the interest and I tried it out. If I committed Like, fuck, if I committed for 10 fucking years on drawing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how motivated I was. It doesn't matter how bad I started out. I would be kicking ass right now. I would be stomping with how damn good I am. Assuming that I'm actually trying to learn, right? Which I was. I was trying to go through like dynamic posing and like what the fuck does perspective mean and what does this mean and that mean. And it's difficult, right? It's tough to look at that and be like, damn, that was a lot of wasted time. Only thing you can do is move forward. But right now I don't really have the time to wedge in another hobby, so I'll start drawing once I get on a better schedule for the YouTube stuff and weightlifting and all my normal things. Rugigaku, I am 75 years old. I'm gonna die next year of tuberculosis. That's how I feel about most things like guitar or YouTuber writing. Yeah, it's tough, right? I think part of it's that like, you have to accept that you're gonna be bad, and people say that all the time, but it's so tough to really accept that you're shit, you know? It's hard to look back and try to learn from what you see as like an abject failure. Jump, you didn't tell us what your comic idea was? Oh yeah, the isekai one. That's one of the 3 that I have in my head. The isekai one is it's a bit complex, and I don't really want to ramble about it. Let's just say if I ever get the idea, if I ever get the idea going, you can look forward to it, you know? It's kind of stuff to do anything at all for me. I'm pretty sure I have some sort of depression or something, but friends really do help. It could be depression, it could also not be depression. One of the issues with leaning towards something being depression, right, is that to some extent you might have a sort of hands-off approach to resolving it, right? It's something to be wary of. I'm not saying you're doing that, but it's something to be wary of. Because if I said, oh, I can't do anything because I have depression, so the only way to solve it is, well, I can't, because I don't know how to solve depression. I don't have the meds, I don't have, I tried the things that people told me about depression, it didn't work, and so it just didn't work out. Sometimes it can be that you are just depressed or something, or you are distracted or something, and it's not necessarily a chemical depression, right? So like, for example, one of the things that I did was I was losing motivation while I was going to the gym at one point because I was spinning my wheels and I wasn't getting stronger and I wasn't getting bigger. And it was really bumming me out. I was getting really frustrated that my favorite hobby did not involve me getting, you know, any progress done. And that was starting to get really, really frustrating. What I ended up needing wasn't necessarily to like cure my depression or anything like that, even though I was losing motivation to go to the gym. And it wasn't even that I needed to rethink my programming. It was more that I needed to change my mindset and think about how I view things in order to actually take a step forward and start, you know, enjoying myself in the gym again. I was trying to do things optimally, the science way and yada yada, and it was the way that should work and it would work and it has worked for so long, but now it's not. So what can I do? Well, maybe I should start having more faith in myself as just the individual and maybe change some things in ways that I feel like would work, even if there's no objective proof that it would work. And that was part of a general belief that I have that your gut feeling is often correct, right? Even if you don't have a justification for something, then having a gut feeling or believing in yourself or having confidence in the way that you think things should be can often pay off in spades. And so it could be something like that. Maybe you're struggling with something along those lines. Maybe you need a mindset change. You know, philosophy books can actually help. I've had philosophy conversations, watched videos on it, stuff like that. That's actually put me in a good mindset that made me more regular in doing what I was doing, in like achieving my goals. Regardless, yeah, I think to some extent, just doing it really does end up being, you know, Shia LaBeouf, like a million years ago, the just do it that he kept saying. I think that is legitimately something that could be helpful. Personally, I like Nietzsche. Is that his name? Nietzsche? The that guy. I think he does a pretty good job. Windows sound effect. Beyond Good and Evil, I think, is the book that he wrote that I thought was interesting, right? Beyond Good and Evil. I'm not getting the guys wrong, right? Yeah, Friedrich Nietzsche. However you say that. He wrote a book called Beyond Good and Evil. There's a lot of people look at the way morality is presented in, how do I put this? There's a fucking word. There's a word that Nietzsche is like known for. And I cannot remember what philosophy he has. Nihilistic, there it is, nihilism. So a lot of people look at nihilism as, how do I put this? Nihilism is something that people as like a misunderstanding see as nothing in life matters, so what's the point of doing anything? But the way that nihilism is often seen, or should be seen, and is spoken of by Nietzsche, I believe, is that more like the fact that nothing matters is freeing, because it ultimately means that the only meaning that you can derive comes from yourself. And as such, anytime you have the desire to do something, anytime you want to take a step forward or something, there's no world that lets you do it. There's no world that forces you to do it. You're not going to be saved. Nothing happens. It has to be you. And you are right for doing it. You are exerting your will to power, I think is the phrase that he uses. I don't know if that's in the Beyond Good and Evil one specifically. That's more of a morality book, but that's sort of how he presents becoming the greatest version of yourself you can be. It's that you want to look deep within yourself, find what's important to you, and say fuck everything else, sort of. Never struggled with nihilism? I buy into nihilism. I'm saying that you can buy into nihilism. It's sort of this, I don't know. It's hard. For me, I think mindset's a major important thing, but it depends on who you are. I don't think someone can just tell you do this and it'll fix it. I think it's something that you have to really dig deep and search for an answer to come up with. So long as you're not doing nothing, I think doing something is better. Do you have any pets? I do not. I used to have dogs. I love dogs. I used to have dogs, but I don't have pets because I don't want to take care of a pet right now. But if I got a pet, it would be a dog. I feel like nihilism's ridiculous, but like, I don't know. You're right, you don't know. It depends on if you're looking at meme nihilism or actual nihilism, because a lot of people misrepresent nihilism when they're talking online. They just say nothing in life matters, boo-hoo, and then they cry about it, but they ignore the rest of the beliefs of nihilism. It's that nothing in life matters, therefore you are free to determine what matters yourself. Which I think makes sense. I want reptiles? I think a reptile would like freeze to death. And I'm a bit worried about that. Why is your laugh so funny? Rugigaku. Thank you. Oh, such a compliment. It truly is so funny. There's a bodybuilder that talks about nihilism and other types of philosophies that I like. I liked listening to him talk about it, but he doesn't really upload too much anymore. And also I disagree with a lot of other things that he talks about, but in regards to discussing philosophy, I thought it was pretty interesting. But I don't think I'd get along with him if I actually talked with him in real life. I find the purpose in life to just be doing whatever you want as a person, which is corny, but I don't care, it works. That is, congratulations, yay! That's basically nihilism. What content do you like to watch? My favorite stuff to watch is actually people playing video games and talking. Pretty much the same thing I do. Although I do watch some video essays, and I like them quite a bit. I mentioned him before, but Magic Mush, one of those. He makes video essays that I'm a big fan of. He talks about internet things. Heading out, Swishy? No problem. Thanks for stopping by. Oh. Alright, well, checks watch. You know, it might be a good time for me to leave and eat as well. I've been talking for like 4 hours. Gee, just chatting streams sure are interesting. Hopefully it was fun. I think it was alright. I'm not used to this kind of thing. Usually if I, one of the good things about playing a game is that there's something in the background that you can always react to, right? You can talk about the game up until the point where you have some other idea, but just chatting's a little bit more difficult. But yeah, this kind of stream's interesting, I guess. Maybe I'll do it a little more often, but yeah, I don't know, no promises. Anyway, I hope you guys had fun. I will catch you on the flip side. I think because Fan finished the thumbnail, I just need to finish a little bit of editing here and there on the video. I'll probably have a highlight video out tomorrow. I think that'll probably work just fine. And I gotta reach out to Fan for some other stuff. So, I'm gonna scoot. Have fun, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. And then I actually, where do I tab? Oh yeah, I go here. All right, see